Ba 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 ba. Greetings, fellow Amblin aficionados. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And SandyClaws.
Jacob Wile.
And this month, we're taking the time to celebrate one of the greatest filmmakers who, as great as he is, neglects to do audio commentary on his work. So, to pick up the slack, because we love the guy so much, we're talking over 5 films from the man who put the S in SKG and signs the Animaniacs paychecks, director extraordinaire Steven Spielberg, in the finale of Spielberg Month.
Month.
Alright guys, I am super excited about this. This is my pet project. This is my baby. I love me some Jurassic Park. You've heard me go on and on and on and talk about it. This is my opportunity to talk about it some more.
But Tiki, what else is exciting you can tell us about?
Yeah!
The Movie Machine Podcast!
Woo!
Alright folks,
Say
go to the
what?
fucking Movie Machine Podcast. It's at hotchocolatemedia.net, and it's the most incredible thing you've ever seen. It's what happens when you take 4 funny people and improv a movie based on a random story generator really fast. This week, it's a gritty 1970s drama about an ex-Olympian athlete and a violinist, starring Michael Jai White, Paul Giamatti, and Alison Brie, featuring Ben Liston, Kyle Decker, Jacob Gulliver, and everyone's favorite, Max Savage.
Max Savage!
Max Savage! Alright. So guys, I don't know. To be fair, I just think, let me just give you, the thesis statement. This movie defined my childhood. I saw this movie when I was about 8 years old. I remember specifically seeing the VHS copy of it at a Costco, picking it up. We had basil tomato pizza from Costco that night and watched Jurassic Park. I will always associate Jurassic Park with basil tomato pizza for that reason. I know it's a strange memory, but it just, it's just I'm just trying to say, I literally remember distinctly, and that memory will never go away, exactly what I had for dinner the first night I watched Jurassic Park.
Well, sometimes the strangest memories are the best memories.
Well, I'm saying that's how vividly the first time I saw this movie stuck with me.
I told you the thing about Jaws way back when we started this month about I can remember the tile flooring and everything. I mean, I get you.
Right. So,
I remember my first time watching this.
Well, you all know mine. I mean, I've kind of gone on detail with it. I'm here to guide you guys through it. So, Jacob, what was your first time with this movie?
Well, I actually got this around the same. It was actually a strange transitioning time, not for me, but for media in general, when they're starting to come out with DVDs. I got a copy of this and Jurassic Park 3 at the same time. But this movie was on VHS. The Jurassic Park 3 was on DVD. I didn't get the Lost World until a few months later.
Well, I think the Lost World is the one that you can kind of skip.
Well, actually, I kind of like that one better than 3. So.
Well, that's a debate to be had, but.
Well, anyways, yeah, I don't exactly remember those details exactly vividly, but I was at that point, I had no idea who Steven Spielberg was. I had no idea what almost anything about these movies were. Now, some films got me into animation. This is actually one of the films that got me into filmmaking, pretty much. That sparked my interest in film. It's wow, they made dinosaurs. And this is the name that this is basically the movie, as probably as with many people of this current generation, is the movie that ingrained the name Steven Spielberg into our minds.
Absolutely, 1,000%, yes. I would say that along with Tiny Toons.
Well, I didn't really.
Oh, me, it was Freakazoid. So
oh God, yeah. Just that whole bunch, the Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Freakazoid lineup. They all had Steven Spielberg name drops.
Steven, who's your favorite?
Oh,
Who are you people?
Who
are you people?
Okay.
Where were we?
Spielberg. The names, knowing the name Spielberg.
I know. I was just referencing the end of the line in that thing in Freakazoid.
Yeah. But any other memories with this movie?
Well, I can't exactly remember what I had for dinner or the tile floors or anything. But I remember I was like, oh, I didn't think it would be as as visceral as it is, as not outrageous, but as awe-inspiring and even scary as it is. When I first watched it, I was like, what is going on? I thought dinosaurs were nice. I was very young when I first.
These are not the dinosaurs from A Land Before Time.
These ain't no Barney.
Oh god.
I don't think I'd even seen Land Before Time at that point.
Fair enough. I have a funny background story with Land Before Time, but we'll get into
Also Spielberg, but
Of course.
This isn't Rex.
Oh god.
but like I said,
Wait, hold on. Was that a We're Back at Dinosaur Story reference?
No, it was a Toy Story reference.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's a much better Rex.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Wally Shawn, alright?
Oh god.
like I said, I wasn't anticipating it to be so brutal.
Right.
I could say other than probably Twister, but I think this is probably the first PG-13 movie I ever saw.
I could definitely say this is the first PG-13 I've ever saw because my parents made a big deal out of the PG-13.
And also a Spielberg creation, essentially.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can say this is like one of I wouldn't say the film, but one of the films that inspired me to get into filmmaking and telling stories to begin with.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think that's uncommon, Dragon. I think this is basically the Star Wars for 90s kids.
Well, like I said, I didn't really get to watch it in theaters because it was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it in theaters until it came out in 3D, and that was a shitty conversion, but that's a whole other rant. But
I didn't see that either. But
you weren't missing much.
But as I was saying, it's pretty much one of the I wouldn't call it the definitive film that got me into filmmaking, but it's one of them that inspired me. Like ones that's always stuck in my mind through years. This is pretty much ingrained in my mind as like a movie that I will always remember, one that I will always hold close, and pretty much the name that ingrained Steven Spielberg into my mind and probably almost a lot of other people's of my age.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think this film absolutely is like the Star Wars of the 90s generation, where if you ask a kid of the 90s what film got them into filmmaking in general, they'd probably...
Well, it explains why it made so much money in recent years after a 20-year break.
Of course. Yeah.
People still like their Jurassic Park.
You know, even over filmmaking, I think this movie got me interested in theme park design. Oddly enough, because I remember just being so entranced by the idea of Jurassic Park to begin with, of just this running theme park that kind of serves as like half theme park, half zoo. They'd have rides, they'd have like exhibits, but they'd also have just habitats and stuff that you could observe. The whole thing just caught my attention. It really kind of, in a weird way, it really kind of got me into the field of armchair Imagineering that I kind of pioneered back when I was a teacher. But yeah, okay. So Sandy, what's your background with this?
So I it was a few years ago. I actually got into this Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones in general, I guess. Pretty late in the game. I got this Spielberg retrospective book for Christmas. And I saw it at Barnes & Noble in the summer, and that year I got it for Christmas. And after that, I was reading through it, and I saw all these great films in there that I hadn't seen before. And Jurassic Park was one of them. And first I watched Raiders, then I went and watched Jurassic Park. And it was, man, it just an amazing movie. It just keeps you on the edge of your seat. And after I watched it, I went and watched a whole bunch of bonus features and everything. It's just so incredibly awing how all the building all the animatronics and the T-Rex and the sound effects I think are classic.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the sound effects.
Rystrom all the way.
And I have to say, this is, as Jacob said, it's not the film that exactly defines Spielberg, but it definitely is up there with the E.T. and Jaws. I'd have to say it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's the movie that was at the peak of Spielberg's height of success as a filmmaker, I think.
Yeah.
And like I said, cemented his name for this generation as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Dragon?
All right, I really don't have much of a pass for this movie, but it's kind of an interesting kind of thing. It brought me to a movie after all these, after many years. I remember the image that many folks will be seeing on screen now, if they lock on, if they see what Tiki's seeing there. The symbol of Jurassic Park, the black dinosaur against the red background.
Poster, one of the most iconic poster designs I've ever seen, I think.
That was my first introduction to it, because I think at some point I saw like the VHS, or at least the trailers.
VHS was like solid. It was like a solid black box with just that logo on it.
I mean, if I recall, various VHSs of Jurassic Park, but specifically Jurassic Park 3. I saw that logo and think, well, wait, where's the other? It's like 3 Roman numerals. Like that's a powerful.
I actually really like Jurassic Park 3's poster with the Roman numeral 3 slashed out in the middle of the logo.
Yeah, and that always kind of stuck with me. And I had never watched them. Bear in mind, just seeing the VHS.
I remember seeing that in the movie theaters as a little kid and thinking that was going to be the goddamn greatest movie ever made.
And I actually have it on VHS, so from my shelf. Just watched it the other day.
3?
No, 1.
Oh.
3's fine. I mean, I think 3 has some camp value to it, but we're not here to talk about 3. But,
okay, my point is...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember that definitive image from the VHS tape, from the trailers, that marketing the VHS tape, and it's like seeing that kind of that logo.
And the tagline. An adventure. 65 million years.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a great tagline. That's a great line for a trailer, for sure.
Oh, God, yeah. Sorry. So, I mostly remember I see you saw on the tape, too. That's what I was just flashing back to.
Well, the VHS cover I have was slightly different. It wasn't a solid black one. It had, like, the front jaws of the T-Rex with the logo in front of it.
I think I know what that one was. Yeah. Jacob, if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say that was the re-release of the Jurassic Park VHS to coincide with The Lost World.
Possibly, and then
I'm 90% sure that was it, because I was like a Jurassic Park fanatic when I was a kid, and so when the Lost World came out, I had like all the merchandise, and I did repurchase VHS just to get the new box.
It was around the time 3 came out, so.
Oh, was it? Okay, I might be wrong.
And maybe it was maybe they were still just publishing at the time.
Right.
Anyway, so getting back to it. So again, what really got me to again, I never really watched the movie because again, the thematic elements kind of scared me away. Man, again, I knew the iconography of the little water splash, the trailers. Again, just because of those thematic things as a kid, I kind of lumped it in with dinosaur killing people. It's a little violence, kind of like your kind of slasher horror movie. I'm not really into that. Again, as a kid, bear in mind. Until I went to Universal as a kid, that's really that was my experience. The Jurassic Park. Again, not going on the
awesome.
Now not going on the ride. Bear in mind, I was so immersed by just kind of walking through the park. Man, this is really it's the John Williams music. Walking through that park, having the experience of taking pictures next to the Jeep with the dinosaur. You get caught up in the excitement, and just knowing that music. And really, honestly, I still I'd seen bits and pieces of it over the years, and really I haven't really given it a full watch. I think at one point it had been on TV and with commercials. I saw not all from point A to from point A to point all the way to point Z, I guess, but seen chunks of mainly the first act. The first act is mostly what I saw. That was years ago. If I ever seen on TV with commercials and all that stuff, I really watched it all the way through in preparation for Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I had really little to no familiarity aside from the ride and just kind of know. Okay, well, years later, knowing Pixar the way I do,
Jurassic World was like the world's most expensive fan film, so you really had to know the original one to like Jurassic World. Yeah,
and knowing the Pixar the way I do, the Pixar story had this script that always kind of stuck with me from showing the advancement of ILM's technology and all that stuff, and seeing the scene from Jurassic Park from that when our T-Rex is attacking the running dinosaurs.
Right.
So that scene always again. So Jurassic Park, I knew the basics. And of course, I knew the references in Toy Story. Referencing Jurassic Park. Running in the mirror shot. Stuff like that. And so again,
I don't think there's barely anything that hasn't referenced Jurassic Park in some way.
Of course, but so it had been on TV coincidentally, and I watched a large majority of it, and then I watched it again without commercials on demand, and again, just that. Then, like a week or so later, I then saw Jurassic World, and I was man, it has a lot of reverence for the original. But again, the original though was really really great. I still have my fundamental problems with both World and Park, but stemming from Park in some way. Again, it's not perfect, but I do love it a lot.
And I'll be the first one to say it's not perfect. I mean, there's definitely elements of this movie that are silly that I can just kind of point and laugh at and have a good time with.
I mean, I really do love Sam. I love Sam Neill. I love the cast. I mean, again, there's a lot of really great stuff in this film. Very kind of, it gives you that great kind of not just sentimental, but kind of like it's you're transported to another world. And again, it's still referenced to this day, even in Ted 2. So it's referenced all over.
Okay, so
there's barely any, like you can't go a year without finding something referencing it.
right.
Again, that John Williams scene, that's what sells you on the movie if you haven't seen it. Again,
I've got to say, I have to pick this as my favorite John Williams score. I've got to. I have no other choice, man.
I will say that is the best scene in the film. I will attest to that. The initial Jurassic Park theme moment. That's the best. That is the best moment of the entire film.
It's like this was Spielberg's peak. This is probably also Williams's peak.
Yeah. Like when
I agree to that.
Like again, just testing the waters, watching it for the 2 kind of times all the way through before Jurassic World came out. That one when I was watching it, that one moment again when you see the Jurassic Park in all its glory. That was like kind of the moment. I was like, okay, I'm testing the waters here. I'm not quite sure. But when that moment happened, though,
I'll show you.
That's the Tiki. You remember that? I told you that moment when we were talking about Jurassic World. I told you that.
And then the critic ripped that moment apart, and I'm like, no, screw you, critic, you're wrong.
I mean, I love, seriously, it's just, I know I might reference this again and everything. Again, just that last moment there where he says, I'll show you. I just love him saying how, and him saying, I'll show you. Again, it's like, hey, he shows him. It's so simple, but it's so cool. Again,
the moment that the critic ripped it apart is one of my favorite moments in the movie, is where Grant's like, they move in herds. They do move in herds.
But still, it's a powerful moment.
Goddamn moment, man.
And if you're just testing the waters after that moment, so you're completely sold, you want to see what's going to happen next, and that's what got me into the movie. So I'm a late bloomer, but again, I guess I'm somewhat indoctrinated into it. It's cool stuff. Cool beans.
This is gonna sound weird, but I think the movie has this balance to it where it's so almost like magical, but then it can also just be so gritty and have you on the edge of your seat. I'm just thinking of playing the theme.
Line of just like slasher film horror, though.
Yeah, I know. But just like thinking of playing the theme in your head and then cutting to the T-Rex eating the lawyer, then cutting back to the theme.
Do you think any of that was subconsciously due to Spielberg kind of being kind of simultaneously dark place, simultaneously happy, whimsical place?
Oh, yeah, I think there's a lot we can kind of talk about with that, but. Can I get into the backstory?
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah. So I think we're all rounded out with our experience with it, so let's go forward.
Okay. So, folks, young Steven Spielberg, he started out as a tiny little lad, as a huge dinosaur fan right from the get-go. His father took him to the Franklin Institute as a child. That was a moment that kind of shaped his life in a way. He saw, like, the dinosaur skeleton, the fossilized skeletons of the dinosaurs, stuff like that, the prehistoric exhibits. Dinosaurs have always been in the back of Spielberg's mind. And one of the things that frustrated Spielberg growing up as a young film fan as a kid was that dinosaurs never really looked right when he saw them on screen. He would see something like, for example, the dinosaurs in King Kong, the Ray Harryhausen dinosaurs, basically.
The B-movie dinosaurs.
Right. And all of them, they just have this herky-jerky quality to them where you can just tell that they're not really there. So Spielberg, like, this was kind of like in the back of Spielberg's mind, even before he was a director. He just wanted to see dinosaurs be pulled off in a way that was actually really believable. So let's fast forward to the late 80s, where a young Michael Crichton has just developed a novel, Jurassic Park. This was originally conceived as a screenplay about a graduate student who recreates a dinosaur, which, so that's kind of interesting. It kind of started out more as like a lighthearted, kind of like, almost like an E.T. sort of thing in a way. But then he turned it into Jurassic Park. So Spielberg learned about the novel before it even got published, and
because he was friends with Crichton at the time.
He was friends with Crichton. Thank you.
And, R.I.P. for Michael Crichton, no longer with us.
Yeah. I was really sad. I was really sad when that happened. I've read quite a few Crichton.
Now, he was on set. They were real buddy. It's a shame.
Okay, so Are you guys ready for this? They had 4 different frickin' directors vouching for this movie before the book even came out.
I believe it.
With
Yep.
Warner Brothers, they had Tim Burton. Could you believe it?
Well, what? I can't believe that.
Picture of Tim Burton Jurassic Park. That's all I'm saying.
Like with like
we
huge
know he had a
eyes and
stop motion
stripes, like
dino in SeaWorld.
have like a Beetlejuice dinosaur.
As much as I like Tim Burton, he would not be a good fit for Jurassic
No,
Park.
he wouldn't.
Okay.
Remember,
I
he had that dinosaur in Pee Wee Herman.
And he also had, speaking of which, he had Batman 2 and Nightmare Before Christmas that came out this 1993.
Yeah, no. So keep in mind, this was like right at the peak of Burton's powers as well. This was right when Burton was kind of rising to prominence. Let's see. For Columbia Pictures, we had Richard Donner. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I've got
Donner.
I'm glad we ended up with Spielberg, but out of these other options, I think Donner's the most tantalizing.
That's the thing. Donner's. I don't know how they deal with that, working with all the dinosaur technical stuff, and be great with the actors. I know.
Oh,
Surely, but okay, go on.
And then we also had 20th Century Fox came in and Joe Dante. Joe Dante, of course, being the Gremlins guy.
It's kind of. Can you imagine if the three of them kind of pull?
I'm not sure how I feel about Joe Dante because I feel like the movie would be too cynical in his hands.
Imagine this. So take Spielberg out of the equation. He was the 4th one, right? Or is there another one that we're not mentioning yet?
No, that's the 3, and then Spielberg.
Right. So imagine this. Imagine you put Spielberg on the side because we know he ultimately did it. But imagine this. You kind of take those 3 directors that they kind of somehow work together. You have like Donner handling the actors. You got Burton kind of bring kind of the design of the world, and you have Dante working on kind of the effects and kind of melding them in with the performances. Imagine like the 3 of those guys pulling their resources, what kind of Jurassic Park they would have turned out.
I personally think that would end up in kind of a jerky mess of not being able
I'm just saying, it's like kind of fun to think about. Like, what would that have been? Like, how crazy would that have been?
Okay, so are you guys ready for some cool trivia?
Sure.
To originally create the dinosaurs before they went to Stan Winston Studios, Spielberg sought out to hire Mr. Bob Gurr himself, my favorite Imagineer. Bob Gurr has designed the Omnimovers for Disneyland, basically anything that moves at Disneyland, anything that's a ride vehicle he's designed.
He's one of the Imagineer forefathers.
Of course. And he also, the reason why he got tasked for this project was because he designed the giant King Kong for Universal Studios.
Oh, yes.
But that didn't work out, and so they brought in Stan Winston. And then they also brought in, this is important, they brought in John Horner, who was a paleontologist.
What about
Jack
Phil
Horner.
Tippett? Wasn't he involved in this?
Yeah, Jack Horner.
Yes.
Phil Tippett.
Yeah, he was also involved, but we're getting
You remember he's the dinosaur supervisor.
And Jack Horner was as well.
Now, Jack Horner, he was the kind of the paleontology consultant, essentially.
Yeah. And he was basically the guy who was kind of like consulting with their with the designs of the creatures to get them to look as realistic as.
Yeah, and he's the one who actually, the big reason Spielberg kept him around. I'm sorry, Dan, I mean to step on your back. Do you mind if I share the bird fact?
Why don't you? You guys never heard of Phil Tippett?
Yeah, I know. We're getting to Phil Tippett, Jay. We're getting to him.
Well, every time I can mention him, you just kipped over to Jack Warner.
Oh, that's where we're starting.
We're
going to
talking
get
about
the
Jack Horner
Tippett.
right now, and then we'll get to Phil Tippett.
Okay.
I love Phil Tippett, all right? We're going to get to Tippett.
Well, you guys kept skipping him, so.
I know. It's because
We're
we're building
him.
We're
Jack
building
Horner's
him.
listed first on his Wikipedia.
All right.
God.
Let's now. I'm sorry. We don't mean the bag on you, Jake. We're getting there. So Jack Horner is actually a big reason. This is a really clever reason they kind of have him on there. Is that he would be kind of their paleontology expert who would also kind of back up their theories. So the whole bird theory is an actual thing he can actually support, at least for the time.
Right.
On kind of paleontology, the dinosaurs evolving from birds in some way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So James, Jack Horner. So now we should get to the tip man.
You want to take it?
Jacob.
I was just wondering if you guys are ever going to talk about him, so go ahead.
So Phil Tippett, stop motion animator extraordinaire, of course, responsible for the Imperial Walkers and RoboCop, various productions. This guy's super talented. He's involved there, and eventually his role kind of changes from just kind of traditional stop motion, which is still used for the animatics and for the kind of the stop motion. Animate, kind of like pre-viz, but also animatics. And originally it was intended to be kind of like for the, how dinosaurs would run and how they would jump and how they do things that you couldn't have animatronics do at the time. Well, still to this day, it's kind of hard to get like a giant running animatronic.
But Disney, man, Disney's going places with their animatronics technology.
So, Tiki, what happened to Phil Tippett's role and the stop motion department's role? And so Dennis Muren was also working with him, correct?
Well, it's fascinating because the whole stop motion department got transitioned into the Stan Winston Studios with their CGI department, and so to quote one of the people working on it, it was like trying to control a puppet with boxing gloves initially. Working with the computers, but it was just kind of like this was kind of the example of Jurassic Park literally being at the breaking ground, at the forefront of this new technology in the industry. Like, these guys were like Walt and Ub Iwerks back in the day working on frickin' Steamboat Willie. You know what I mean? Like, they were, so they came up with a whole bunch of different things. They came up with there's a whole myriad of stuff. I don't think we have time to list it all, but they'd film people from the studio just doing animalistic movements just to kind of get like the running and the jumping and that kind of stuff right. Like, they'd study the movement of the legs. They'd go to different animal parks, including Six Flags Marine World, which, if you watch the James Earl Jones documentary, you can actually see briefly.
Yeah.
You can see it. There's when you see the giraffes and when you see the elephant, that's Marine World. So, yeah, fun fact. But yeah, so they went all over. They kind of studied animals, much in the same way as the Disney animators did back in the day. And of course, it was all kind of topped off with the giant T-Rex. I think the giant T-Rex animatronic was kind of the culmination of Spielberg's career because it was like the anti-Bruce. Like, it worked great.
Yes.
There wasn't a ton of technical issues wrong with it, and it just, like, it added to the film in a big, bad way. This film is still remembered fondly for the mix of practical effects with CGI, for the mix of animatronics with puppets, with a little bit of stop motion, with a little bit of CGI. The dinosaurs themselves are only in it for about 15 minutes out of the whole runtime. Which
much like Hannibal Lecter in Sounds of the Lambs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Joker in The Dark Knight. Save your big guns minimally. Use them minimally.
It builds suspense, and then you're even more happy when you see him.
Yes.
Softly carry a big stick.
It's kind of using the Jaws technique, but again, making it now having it enough to kind of show them in more action when you actually show them.
And in terms of getting into the comparisons between this and the book, I can say this is one of the wonkiest adaptations I've ever seen because, oh god, it's weird because they adapt certain scenes like almost beat for beat from the book, but no characters are ever in the same scene. Like, they'll have a situation that's from the book, but entirely different characters will be involved. It's bizarre. It's like they completely took the story. They completely, like, the book is the same story. It's got the whole, like, granted, John Hammond is a little bit more shady in the book. There's some shady corporate shenanigans going on in the book that we'll get into. But in general, like, they took the core premise of the book, they took all the characters, but they just kind of remixed it in a way, which I think is a really interesting way to go about doing an adaptation. A couple quick things, just quick kind of trivia facts about the book. There was a scene from the book that they wanted to do in the movie, which was the main characters going down a raft in the river, and that ultimately turned into Jurassic Park: The Ride.
Yep.
Which Spielberg still to this day will go on, but then stop the boat and get off right as they get to the
Oh, Spielberg, how we love you.
The opening scene of the book actually turned into the opening scene of The Lost World, where they have those tiny, like, chicken-like dinosaurs attacking the young girl.
Procompsognathus.
Yeah. And then they also developed a pterodactyl scene for this movie that ended up in Jurassic Park 3. So there was all kinds of stuff from the first book that's kind of sprinkled throughout all the other Jurassic Park movies.
I've never noticed that pterodactyls are like some of the most common dinosaurs when you think of dinosaurs, but they never appear in this movie. That's weird.
And they're not even.
They appear at the very end of The Lost World, but other than that, they're not really in The Lost World either. They kind of come to prominence in
3.
Yeah, in
technically they're not considered dinosaurs either.
No, they used a lot in World.
Yeah, but I think 3 used them better. I think World, they went a little over the top with it. 3, like, the scene in 3 with the birdcage, I think is the closest this franchise has gotten to, like, a straight-up horror movie scene, and I say that in a good way.
Well, again, the scene in World, though, is pretty gruesome, though, when they used the period.
It's gruesome, but like I said, it's just a little over the top for me. I think the scene in World the scene in 3 kind of scales it back, where they,
I
you know,
just
have to get
remember
in the
that.
birdcage and the claustrophobic environment of that, you know.
All right.
Oh my god.
But we'll get more into the. I'll point out certain things that are different from the book, certain characters and everything as we go through this movie.
Yeah.
But
The birdcage.
Jacob, what were you saying?
I was thinking, oh my god, it's a birdcage.
Oh.
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's Nathan Lane.
Birdcage with a pterodactyl. That's scary, man.
No, I'm just saying that's what I was just trying to mimic the line from the movie.
Oh, okay.
And did you mention that this movie is actually co-written by Michael Crichton too?
Yeah, the movie's co-written by
Very
Crichton,
cool
thank
when
you.
you can have that happen. Look at Batman Under the Red Hood, and you have the original writer involved in some way. You get some good stuff coming from that.
And unfortunately, the Stan Winston Studios had a falling out with Universal over Jurassic World, and Jurassic World practically not using the Stan Winston Studios at all outside of a few select creatures here and there. So that's very unfortunate.
That's a shame.
But, okay, guys, are you ready to go here?
Yeah.
Yep. Let me get
Cue the
the
people up. Cue the people up.
Okay, so we'll try our level best to talk about this as if it's just an ongoing conversation and you don't necessarily have to be watching the movie. But if you want to watch the movie, go ahead and pop it in. Go ahead and press play. Get past the Universal globe. Get past the Universal logo and press pause right as it fades to black and the screen's black after the Universal logo. And also, we should mention that this movie is on Netflix, which is like one of the big reasons we're doing Spielberg Month to begin with.
Yeah, real quick, just so you can say, because it's the last one, all right, real quick.
Yeah.
So, folks, literally, the reason we did Spielberg Month is because I wanted to talk about Jurassic World. I was like, hey, Jurassic Park, so which one should we do first? And you said, well, yeah, let's do in chronological, let's do Park. And again, purely because of the fact it was on Netflix, and well, why not? And then we figured, okay, what's the other Spielberg movies we want to talk about? We want to talk about, and I brought up that I definitely want to talk about The Terminal, and Catch Me If You Can.
Here we talked about The Terminal.
And again, Jaws is absolutely necessary, so I put that in there. You know what? I was just looking on that and thinking of like what else we could use to kind of fill like kind of a 5 spot, and oh wait, E.T.'s on Netflix, and here's that's a big staple Spielberg. Let's put that on there, and that's our lineup, and we wrote these two guys into it, and then
We also wrote Catch Me If You Can.
Yep.
And Catch Me If You Can was like the big surprise for me in Spielberg Month. I ended up walking away really loving Catch Me If You Can. So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot better than Terminal.
Yeah, that's fair.
I did too.
But again, I still have a lot of love for The Terminal, but I will admit, Catch Me If You Can's superior. I'll give you that.
All right. Okay, guys. So, like I said, just go ahead and get to the black screen right after the Universal globe. We're going to count up to
on
3.
Netflix. That's 20606 for those at home with Netflix using.
Okay.
Go on.
All right. So you guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Sandy.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right. Here we go. In 1, 2, 3, go. Clever girl.
Universal Pictures.
I've heard of them.
Was it too much to ask for me for Chris Pratt to say "clever girl" in Jurassic World just once? Just once.
Maybe in the next one.
Maybe.
I think they're
Jurassic
milking it.
World.
I think they're milking it now.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, we'll save that when we do the Jurassic World commentary.
They're basically milking it when they did 2 and 3. So come on.
Yeah, that is true.
All right.
And Spielberg even directed the next one, so he's partly to blame.
So classic Spielberg intro here, where you don't see the monster. It's very reminiscent of Jaws, where you know the danger, but you don't see the danger. And I just this scene captivated me as a kid.
Even though it's quite obvious what it is.
Of course.
I love that this showcases what Jurassic Park's all about. Jurassic Park is all about kind of the behind the scenes of an attraction, of a theme park, and this scene is exactly what you showcase, that there is a danger there. Like with any theme park, there is a danger, hence the safety precautions.
Mhm.
But like Ian Malcolm says, when most parks break down, the attractions don't try to eat their guests.
No, the pirates. When the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks
I
down.
know. Just generalizing.
So this opening scene always kind of confused me because I really didn't know anything about the movie before I watched it, other than it was about dinosaurs. So when I saw they had the logo on their hat, I was like, so what's going on? They have like the movie on their hat, like the movie logo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, obviously it's the logo of the park within the movie, which I think is
Yeah.
really clever marketing.
Oh yeah, it is definitely.
Jurassic Park.
Okay,
But also,
I love how Muldoon. I think Muldoon is kind of framed in a Keys kind of way in this scene.
I like the start of that guy like going away from the hissing in that window.
Yeah. And
Like,
again, we don't see him at all. All the intensity's built there.
Yep. It'd be pretty ironic. I don't know if it is, but it'd be pretty funny if this is like the same one that kills Muldoon later.
That would be. That would be.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's obviously no way to tell, but it'd be pretty interesting.
Well, he says shoot it. Do you think they shoot this one, or do you think it's still around?
That's true.
Around by the end?
Maybe not.
A little ambiguous.
The guy gets,
So we just get a very, very quick glimpse of the raptor, like a very, very quick glimpse.
Yeah.
All right.
Again,
I
definitely
think-
showcases
I
the
think
dangers of this marble.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how much chaos is going on just right away in this movie. It's like we don't see anything, but we can tell it's like, oh man, like these people really don't have their shit together, do we? There's a great kind of shot of the eye just to establish the eyes of the raptor. Here we go. Shoot her! Shoot her!
That's kind of the scene that makes me believe that this is the one that kills him later.
Well, I mean, they do try to tase the crap out of her and shoot her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe not, but I don't know.
That's
now
ambiguous.
This
I
guy,
mean, it's fair.
this
Your
guy
gun's
Gennaro,
fine.
this guy was actually kind of one of the main characters of the book, and he was a lot more
Really?
sympathetic in the book.
Oh, wait, you mean the lawyer?
Yeah, the lawyer. Yeah, Gennaro.
Let's just say basically the characters of John Hammond and the Gennaro were reversed for the movie. Basically.
I would say so, yeah, because with Gennaro, he saw the potential. Obviously, he saw the money-making potential, but Gennaro was also kind of like a dork about dinosaurs in the book, and he was just kind of like amazed by the whole thing. And I generally do like Gennaro in the movie. I think he's less of a stereotype than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he's not. Don't know, the blood sucking lawyer is hilarious, but again, give him some credit. I mean, he is open-minded enough to look past like, oh no, it's threatening our interests, but no, it's actually improving our interests greatly.
And he dies. I mean,
But he does, he does kind of
benefit the
abandon
guy.
him, and he's kind of endangers the kid, so he kind of,
Would you guys say his death is like the quintessential Spielberg death?
I don't know.
And yeah, probably not. His death is definitely the one of the more hilarious, actually.
Any Jaws, any death from Jaws, come on.
Like I said, it's kind of funny that of all the deaths in the movie, his is the only one that's actually hilarious in a way.
Yeah.
So let me mention this real quick. Miguel Sandoval, who's playing Juanito here, right? This guy's a great character actor. I know him from he's done voice work in Superman the Animated Series, and my favorite, Batman Beyond. He plays this guy that stands up to Derek Powers, who is like saying, yeah, it's a neat little ploy of like, you're poisoning our environments. He has this like real regal presence. The guy's a good actor.
He feels like he's straight out of an Indiana Jones movie.
It feels like he was like Melena's understudy,
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I love this transition here. It's like he's we're both diggers, and then we see him digging up.
Steven his spotlights.
Everyone gives J.J. Abrams so much crap about that, but nobody ever calls Spielberg out on the spotlight thing.
That was like a progression. The old school '70s directors, like Spielberg, you got the spotlight and just all the lighting stuff. Abrams, you got the lens flare. And I guess the next generation is just going to be like Christmas lights at some point.
So let's talk about Alan Grant, because I think Alan Grant, in some ways, is almost a deconstruction of the Indiana Jones character.
Yeah,
That's
I think so,
interesting.
too.
Like, this guy is what a professor who goes on
Archaeological digs.
Thank you. Who goes on archaeological digs would actually act like. He's not some badass action hero. He's just a smart guy.
Yeah, this guy plays it safer.
Right.
It's funny. I was watching another Sam Neill movie before this, Bicentennial Man. I love it. I love this actor so much.
Like, he plays it safer, barring going to a theme park filled with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even. Well, yeah, he did know that they were filled with dinosaurs when he went there. Yeah. But...
Well, no, remember he didn't exactly. He didn't specify.
Right.
He said it was a dinosaur themed park. He didn't say there were actually dinosaurs there. Yeah, Hamill was
Okay,
being.
I love the old school technology here. This is like one of the many examples of old school technology where
Oh yeah.
they've got the cardboard box.
Yes,
over the TV,
I just caught that today. I never
yeah,
caught the
if
cardboard.
you touch the cardboard box, it flickers out. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Again, I love how low tech Grant is here, and again, right off the bat, you have like kind of a respect for this character. You know, it's like he's a real simple guy. He digs things up. You drive up to the dig. You don't arrive in a helicopter.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. That doesn't look scary. Looks like a 6-foot turkey.
No, this kid, I love that. It sounds so much like Michael Sheen in this scene.
I'm not exactly at that. I'm not exactly
This
at
is
that
like
part.
one of the iconic Spielberg brats right here.
Oh yeah, this kid deserves to get the living daylight scared out of him. He really does.
And this is a great Alan Grant moment. This is kind of like the signature thesis statement on Alan
Yes.
Grant.
And this is a fantastic way of establishing. There's the best thing I can say about this film in terms of writing is that it establishes things so naturally and so well in the movie, like things are going to come back later. And again, Grant's thematic arc is he doesn't like kids, doesn't want kids, despite the fact his girlfriend does. And we get to see him over time bonding with kids, but we have to start him seeing it in kind of the complete opposite of that arc of being hold his arms around kids, being the point where he's trying to terrify a kid and then threaten to tear his intestines out.
And I love Spielberg. But this has got to be like one of the quintessential Spielberg daddy issue movies, where it's kind of funny because it's like when I think dinosaurs, oh yeah, I think about a man who tries to connect to his parenthood. Oh yeah, that's exactly the story I want to tell with dinosaurs.
And where exactly did this kid come from anyway? That's the question. Where does this kid come from? What's he doing in the middle of an archaeological dig?
Well, no, it's like a school trip, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it says if you look up Jurassic Park cast, it says he's a volunteer.
Okay, it's like a volunteer dig. It's probably for school
Also,
or something.
I really wanted this kid to be Chris Pratt. I really wanted
that
Chris
could have
Pratt
worked
to
nicely.
somehow
There's actually like a rumor going on. This kid grew up to be Owen.
Right. That would be so great. I would love it if they somehow confirmed that.
That would have actually been fantastic.
And that would make a whole connection to his affinity for raptors.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, new respect for it.
If he gets reunited with Alan Grant in the sequel, and he's like, "Hey man, I respect you, but you kind of scared the shit out of me as a kid, man."
That'd be awesome.
But I think these two have great chemistry here. I love Laura Dern and Sam Neill's chemistry here.
In the book, they had a much different chemistry. In the book, it was very much just kind of like working friends. Ellie actually had a spouse at home, and Grant was single. And in the book, there was kind of like this whole dynamic where people like Malcolm would flirt with Ellie, and Grant would just kind of like laugh it off nonchalantly. So so turning Ellie and Grant into a couple was good.
I love that right off the bat here. You have a
Let
kind
me just say that's one of the best character introductions ever.
Coming down
Yeah.
in the helicopter.
Yeah.
And an invasive,
No,
almost.
just the champagne pop. Just the
Well,
champagne
yeah, but
pop.
But we're not there yet. We just got the helicopter. You're probably a couple seconds ahead of us.
yeah, but with this with the helicopter thing, I mean now he's heading into the trailer, but with that helicopter thing
guys,
right off the bat.
that kind of sucks because I'm.
Right off the bat, you have that helicopter really disturbing Grant. It's kind of a bad omen for things to come. It's like it's kind of like symbolic of Hammond's. Let's talk about Hammond's intro here. It's really great. The champagne pop, and he's so invasive but so lovable.
I was saving that. I
I love how ticked off Grant is. Like, yeah, we were saving that.
Which part are you guys at? Did he just?
Now he's bringing it to Laura Dern. So it's.
And they realize oh, this is the guy that the jerk is the guy that's paying for our stuff.
Yeah, it's like, did you say? Did I say jerk? Well, that's already passed. But now they're getting the glasses, they're fumbling over that. He's ushering. They're like, no, I know my way around the kitchen. That's what's going on. So again, the great Richard Attenborough, folks, director of Chaplin, and director extraordinaire, been acting since the 40s. Guy's an expert, and unfortunately no longer with us. But seriously, what a talent this guy was.
This guy was like my Walt Disney before I knew the extent of what Walt Disney did. Like, this guy is like the embodiment of Walt Disney on screen for me in a lot of ways.
And he's a great kind of Walt Disney archetype. If you're going to cast a Walt Disney type, this is the guy to cast.
I mean, I wouldn't cast him as Walt Disney.
No, I mean
himself.
for this film. I mean he embodies kind of like
right.
the king Imagineer of like, let's do stuff.
Okay, can you guys do me a favor and tell me when it cuts to the next scene?
Okay, well, the scene's still going on, so let's see. But I love with the helicopter thing. It's showing that he's not really paying much mind to. It's kind of the natural world versus kind of the modern world. Like you don't mix helicopter with kind of classic archaeological stuff. Again, the old school Alan Grant way versus kind of the flashy Hammond way.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really nice thing. I love it hasn't happened yet, but I love kind of how he funds them for the next 3 years. I think it's such a pleasant gesture, like I'm going to fund you for the next 3 years. I could just fund you for 1 year, and you'd say yes anyway, but I'm going to do it for 3 because I'm extravagant. Kind of nice.
And an interesting fact about him and Spielberg's relationship, they actually, his film, Richard Attenborough's film Gandhi, actually went up against E.T. For many of the same awards, which Gandhi won.
I love that he affectionately calls him Dickie Attenborough. It's so cute.
Are we at the Mexican restaurant yet?
Not yet.
But yeah, I mean, it just shows that there was really no hard feelings between him and Spielberg.
Yeah.
And he cast him in this. I mean, it's become a role that's probably people know Richard Attenborough for too.
This is absolutely like the role I know Richard Attenborough for sure.
A lot of people also know him for Miracle on 34th Street.
That's true.
Okay, they're toasting, Tiki. They're toasting.
Okay.
Mexican scene, right? The Mexican place.
They're hugging, and now we're cutting out.
In San Jose, Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's talk about this guy because this guy was the main antagonist of the books.
Wayne
Dodson or the other one?
No,
Dodson or Nedry?
Dodson.
Okay, Dodson. Okay, tell us about Dodson.
Dodson he basically has the same role as he does in the book. He's like the head of the company that's rivaling John Hammond's company, and he wants to steal the formula for the DNA. But in the book, he's just a lot more prominent. He's a lot more menacing. He has a lot of stuff to do. He kind of has a story arc throughout all 3 of the Crichton books.
Did this guy ever appear in the other movies?
Well, there are only 2 Crichton books.
No, he doesn't.
That's a missed opportunity.
I know.
Wait, was Crichton involved with the other 2 movies?
He was involved with The Lost World, I want to say. We got Dodson here!
Wait, see, I love Wayne.
Cares?
This is right around the Seinfeld.
He really is. I mean, he's straight up playing Newman. There's no other 2 ways about it, but he's so fun.
I think his last scene would be great if there was like a dub of like "Hello Newman" like off screen his last moves. But no, seriously, Wayne Knight's always in town.
Barbasol cans.
Tiki, I'm a gadget guy. You know that I just love the creation. I love everything about this Barbasol can. It's concealed. I love him describing all the functions here. I love it. That's one of my favorite bits from the movie.
It'll actually distribute shaving cream.
Yeah, that's awesome. And he's such a brick. He smears it on some guy's pie coming up here.
That's always bothered me.
I hope that's his pie, and I hope it's not some random stranger.
He also kind of just skips out on the bill too. He's like, "Don't get
it makes
Dodson."
Yeah, but he plays just kind of the unlikable work brick so well. Just like Wayne Knight.
I mean, if anyone's a villain in the movie, it's him, but he's too incompetent to really be a villain.
Well, it's like what if Newman just went a little too far? It's really what this is.
Right.
It's just incompetence.
Newman was actually evil. I'm sorry, dude.
It's just incompetence that creates this whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Mr. Jeff motherfucking Goldblum. Give him a round of applause. Oh my fucking god.
Speaking of
How amazing is that laugh? How amazing is that laugh?
Well, yours or his?
Jeff Goldblum's. The laugh.
His is great, yeah. His is great.
I
like him better in the second movie than this one.
I need to watch the second movie again. I've always thought he was a little bit obnoxious in the second movie, and here he's a little bit more toned down.
He's obnoxious in this one.
Yeah. I think in Spielberg Month I would like to do The Lost World. So maybe we'll talk about that off air, but the next Spielberg month.
Okay, let's see. I also want to mention real quick, I love the prop of the raptor claw that Grant has. I really love that prop.
Yes, that's such a cool prop.
The Barbasol can and the raptor claw are my favorite, just props and gadgets in this film.
Well, I've got the Lost World Barbasol can, so...
I know you do. Remember, you pat yourself in the face with it.
Guys,
Here it is.
Da 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 da.
There it is.
Da 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 da. This was shot in Hawaii, obviously, kind of the same general location that they shot Lost.
So Hammond owns InGen, right?
Yes.
And InGen specifically is the genetics lab, hence the gen in there, right?
Yes.
I can sure just want to put that.
InGen is genetic engineering.
I think it stands for International Genetics or something.
Okay.
Genetic engineering, I think.
Okay.
Genetic engineering.
Okay, here comes the Tomorrowland thing, BlueDragonFive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the seatbelt.
Oh no, I can't get my two seatbelts together. I'll have to tie them onto my waist. Okay, guys, when I saw this movie in 3D and the helicopter was coming down, it looked so flat. It looked so two-dimensional and so small. It really bugged me. Like, that scene in particular bugged me in 3D. Like, right here, when it's supposed to be all majestic.
Well, he's just tied the belt for us, Tiki.
Yeah, now he's going down from the waterfall, which is a cool shot.
Yeah. So, tell me, Tiki, the seatbelt tie, did that come back in the book, or was that improvised for the movie? Do you know?
I have no idea, honestly. I have no idea where that came from.
Right.
Sorry.
It sounds like it was set up for something. I can't remember it paying off, really.
No, I don't think it came back in any of the movies. I don't know if it was in the book or not.
Like a deleted scene or anything? Okay,
no, I don't think so.
That smells of setup, doesn't it?
I guess.
It's kind of quirky otherwise. Let me know. No, it's fine.
It is a quirky moment. I mean, I've always thought of it that way.
It's fine. I'm just saying it sounds like that's going to come back somehow.
Okay, so I love this giant waterfall. Like, that's the first thing guests see when they visit Jurassic Park. That's a great touch. The Jeeps. Again, just all of this as a kid, man. All of this as a kid, I was just stoked for. You know what I mean? I'm just, like, even just watching it now, I'm feeling it. Like,
And Kauai was such a great location for this. It looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it all started with a guy getting eaten.
So again, I love that. With that, Jake, we have that danger associated. We see those gates closing. There's danger. These guys are very potentially in serious danger. Anything again? Look, we're so entranced by it, but at the same time, we know in the back of our mind something bad is on the horizon.
Absolutely.
Because of the opening.
I love this.
Hours, if they're not convinced, I'm not convinced.
I love how cocky and sure of himself Hammond is here.
John Hammond has so many good lines in this movie, seriously.
Especially, welcome to Jurassic Park.
In 48 hours, you're actually going to be dead.
In less than 48 hours, probably.
You're going to be in the digestive system of a T-Rex.
Yeah.
How ironic, given his death.
Okay, here's the moment, guys. Here is the moment.
We're not there yet.
Son of a bitch. You guys have to stop doing these through Netflix, because Netflix somehow always screws us up.
Well, maybe your ARG copy is screwed up.
ARG copy.
Yeah. Okay, so now she's looking at the plant, and he's grabbing the head right now, and this is the very famous moment. And this is the moment, again, even if you're not solo, you're treading the waters, this is the moment that gets you, folks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get the Williams theme pumping. Again, is hearing this in the theme park is what got me kind of raising the number. I got to look at this thing, man.
The Apatosaurus.
Yeah.
It's brilliant that Spielberg shows this to us so early in the movie. It's about 20 minutes in. Yep. And it's just the right amount of dinosaur to show us before plunging us into some more exposition. It's a great pace to keep.
Yeah. And this is the first digital shot, if I'm remembering correctly.
This is one of the few shots that's entirely CG. Actually, there's no puppet or anything here. It's just all digital.
Looks really good.
You crazy son of a bitch.
It does. I think this is probably one of the shots that's probably not aged as well as some of the ones that, like, for the T-Rex example, I think is aged a little bit better than this. but
Yeah.
it's still great. I mean,
I'm
this is
saying it has the majesty behind it, so you give it a pass.
this is
You're still
absolutely
entranced by
like
it.
the flying over the moon moment of this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this
Oh my
this
God.
is the best moment of the film right here. There's no question.
Right here. Just,
Fortune with this place.
Saying this, the big kind of earth-shattering.
oh God.
We're gonna
No,
make a
I gotta
fortune.
admit, just looking at it again, it still looks good, man.
Yeah.
It still looks better than most CGI these days. It really
And
does.
again, it's just the
It really
majesty
looks bad.
behind it. Just it smooths out any rough edges. It's perfect.
Mhm.
Let me just say, it actually looks better on an older screen than it does a newer one.
I'll agree with that, Jacob. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Now here's the T-Rex. We have a T-Rex and the excitement, and just seeing
Oh, God.
Grant like kind of almost
We have a
topple over,
T-Rex.
just like. So again, I love
It's like
this
a little kid at Disneyland. It's great.
Welcome. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And again, just the blocking in this scene's really good too. Grant on the ground for the big dramatic turn here, and then again, I just love the
absolutely.
way Hammond kind of bends down with them here, and you see.
It's kind of weird. I mean, you think they noticed those dinosaurs are over there too, but no, not immediately.
And that's a great shot too. That still holds up to this day.
Mhm.
Seeing the dinosaurs in the lawn. Again,
Oh,
it's,
my God.
it's like the operatic, the operatic crescendo of the Williams score right here.
And I just remember as a kid, I just wanted to go and just explore that.
They
You know,
do, and they do move in herds.
And again, here's the moment right here where he's bending down. He's about to it always
I
intrigues me
will
with
always
John
defend
Hammond's
that they
character.
do move in herds line. I think that is one of the
It's a
most
good
majestic-
moment. I don't know what the critics
I
probably.
love that moment.
I mean, look, out of context, if you didn't see the rest of the scene, yeah, it would be cheesy. But again, you know the rest of the
It
scene.
works so well for Grant's character because Grant is essentially like this jagged archaeologist who only believes in science, and now he's back to his little kid self.
And again, I love that our transition from that scene. Now he's like saying, "How?" Says, "I'll show you." We have like dun, 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 dun. Now things are not serious, but now we're on foot to the adventure.
So
now we're
as soon
heading
as
in the
I saw
facility.
that, as soon as I saw the T-Rex skeleton over the entryway, I knew that that's where we were in Jurassic World, right here.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic set. I mean, you want to talk about great sets. Maybe not as technically impressive as the Terminal, but tell me this isn't an iconic set right here.
No, it's an iconic set, most
Oh
definitely.
my God! I mean,
Again,
you've got the raptor painting in the background. You've got the giant T-Rex skeleton. It's great. You've got the spiral staircase.
Let's talk about the extinct line.
Yeah.
You guys know where that came from?
Where'd it come from?
That actually came from one of the special effects artists. I believe it was Phil Tippett actually who said that line when he saw the CG.
Oh, nice.
Right, yeah. When they were kind of told. So again, Phil Tippett, they were doing the effects, and again, when ILM kind of stepped in there, it's like, oh, well, we're out of the job. But no, thankfully there was still a lot of application for stop motion.
Dragon, I've got
And
to
then
say.
he said like what? And he said, "Don't you mean extinct?"
All right. This is obviously not the most majestic scene in the movie, but this might be my personal favorite scene.
That's fair. I mean, look, you and I have a mutual kind of fondness
Yes,
for a moment
yes.
in this thing.
This is
We'll
just
get
like
to it.
classic. This feels like something straight out of Epcot. They did this so well.
I mean, I guess I'll jump ahead just talking about it, but again, I love the. I love the fact it turns into a ride, and Tiki and I both shared the opinion, like, we want to still go on that ride. Those guys don't get off.
Like, they should just release a DVD, like a DVD bonus feature of what it would be like to experience this whole ride.
Like the Back to the Future ride, but, just for this, so you get the experience.
Right.
The whole thing. Like, it's on the Back to the Future DVD you can go on the ride through the DVD. Blu-ray.
I do like how they brought Mr. DNA back for Jurassic World.
I would have been so mad if they didn't give Mr. DNA something to do.
And they also use the archival stuff, so
There's the
unfortunately,
classic
guys.
Spielberg spotlight shot.
Yeah, there's a great spotlight for you.
Sure was only briefly, but he was in Jurassic World.
Yes,
So
great
this is
person.
it's such a clever way to get the exposition out of the way. It's one of the best exposition dumps I've ever seen in a movie.
Again, it's a really nice, tightly plotted film
Mhm.
with these really smooth, kind of naturally worked in. Again, the exposition here is very simple. Again, it kind of
It's very
establishes
simple. It's also very entertaining. It's very much like designed to be digested in an easy to understand format.
And I'm a sucker for good pseudoscience. I think
Of
this
course,
is
of course.
Again, it's like because comic books use pseudoscience all the time. I mean, how Spider-Man can do half the stuff he does, and it's like how do you get a park full of dinosaurs? Well, this kind of makes sense, and actually, this is interesting. In real life, at least at the time, I don't know how much of it's improved or not in recent years, but The pseudoscience here is actually kind of it's a simplification of what they were doing. You use amber, you can find bugs here. The only problem is there are a few factors that are kind of more complicated than they appear to be here. But then again, it's like the logic of how we get a movie out of this. It's
Sure.
it takes a lot longer to get them out of get the bugs out of get the DNA from the insects. You have to find insects that correlate with the prehistoric animals, and again, it's the extraction is really difficult. It takes a long time. That's the thing. It's just not as easy, clean-cut process as you see here.
Well, I think just for the purposes of storytelling, it's
No, sir, of course. I'm just saying. It's kind of cool they got it really right, though. It's like it's pretty much the same. It's the same process, just really not as easy.
Okay, here we had the frog DNA thing. The frog DNA. That's going to come back later.
Again, I love this pseudoscience here. Look at this little hey, you're working the elements of you fill in the gaps in the DNA.
I love how John Hammond right here. He's just like, oh, it'll the building will shake and everything. Boom, 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 boom.
You know, rewatching it for a moment, I would have loved it if like it was an unfinished thing and just the ADR of John Hammond was playing. So, we'll straighten this out. But no, it's still really great though. And again, this is what I'm talking about. This ride seems awesome.
I want to see the rest of this damn ride, and I know that these fuckers are gonna lift the lap bars, and I don't want them to.
And I love the little kind of audio.
Every time I watch the movie Dragon, every time.
I love the kind of the audio animatronics because again, a lot of this next scene is literally made possible by animatronics, so it's like kind of such a meta joke, you know. And again, because for a moment there,
don't pull it up. Go on the rest of the ride. Come on, maybe it'll be different this time.
And again,
Dragon.
eventually,
different.
No, it's not going to be different. Mr. DNA is going to get interrupted. They're going to go, and the lawyers can say, "Wait, they can't do that. Wait, can they?"
I love how concerned Gennaro is with following the rules. That's adorable.
Yeah. I might be in his position too.
I am totally in his position. I am absolutely that guy.
But you know, I love again with bringing up the audio animatronics. I love its mention because again, it looks like in kind of a Disney ride setup, it would be like the audio animatronics of the scientists working diligently on the geneticists working diligently. And there's Hugo Strange himself, the great, the powerful, the BD Wong.
He's not, and also Li Shang.
Yes.
Who's it? Who's it?
Now, the boat thing is kind of like an interesting subplot in the book that never really gets developed in the movie, because in the book there's this crate of raptors who gets loose on this rescue boat, and it's a whole big subplot, but they just kind of like, it's weird because there's a few mentions to the boat, and they actually develop that subplot out in the Super Nintendo version of the Jurassic Park game, but they had to cut it out of the movie.
It's kind of referenced in the second movie with the T-Rex on the boat.
Right, yeah, that too.
I do admit these baby raptors are kind of cute.
No, yeah, again, lovely animatronics and puppetry in this scene.
Absolutely.
And again, I love the moment coming up when Grant is holding it, finding out it's a raptor, and just seeing the kind of the again. I love that Grant just kind of it's expressed so well just on his face of like kind of you can see him processing kind of the implications of this of like, oh my God, I'm holding a raptor in my hand.
Floating raptors.
Without a word of dialogue, it's communicated so well.
Okay, here comes all the animals are in Jurassic Park are female. Lots of pseudoscience explanations here.
And again, I'm liking the pseudoscience, but it does break down.
I like how Jeff Goldblum is like he's weary about this stuff right away. It's like he's already on his guard.
Yeah. And again, the pseudoscience I love, but I think just the natural logic that it does kind of break down at a certain point in this film. You're going to find out when it's like, yeah, there were some kind of flaws in this. Not as bad as Jurassic World, but there are some flaws in this. But again, just that chat with Sam Neill, when he looks at that egg coming up, it's just again without a word dialogue, so much communicated, and how he's going to be on the same side as Malcolm and Sattler.
Absolutely. I just love the way that this story is constructed, where we as an audience are drawn in with the main characters into the wonder of Jurassic Park, and it just kind of slowly gets chipped away at, you know.
And again, with the two very important bits in this scene, you know, with Goldblum kind of poking some kind of logic here, of saying, well, you know, nature finds a way. And again, kind of nature versus nurture thing. You know, again, nature will win out at the end of the day. Is kind of what he's saying here. And
I'm sorry, Dragon. He doesn't say nature finds a way. He says nature finds a way. I'm
yes,
sorry.
it's funny. I wrote in my notes, life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Life ... finds a way.
Right.
So
That is the correct line, Dragon.
But so basically, after what he says there, and again, this shot here, again, nice use of lighting here. Again, seeing there's a dark side to all this visually.
It's a velociraptor.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But again,
Speaking
after
of
that,
velociraptors.
yeah. You bred raptors.
It's
So yeah,
cute.
with,
And then it cuts to this.
yeah, so with this cut here, again, I love that we have kind of our two seeds of that plan, but what Malcolm's saying and what Grant's saying, now we see kind of, it's now naturally being expressed to us that, yeah, there is a danger as we see they're being fed live animals.
Yeah, this might be a little fucked up.
This is. I mean, first of all, don't feed them live animals. That's cruel, all right?
Right.
You feed
Yeah,
them
exactly. Thank you.
Jurassic World did attend to that when they gave them, like, the big old...
I don't think the blackfish people would appreciate this.
Yeah, this is unbelievably cruel, because you hear the cries of the bullvine.
Okay, I want to point out these raptors were, speaking of blackfish, these raptors were created using the sounds of dolphins screaming.
Yes.
Why can't they just inject the cows and kill them before?
That's the thing. Or just like a big old Flintstone slab of beef or something. I don't know. It's like a
Flintstone
That's
slab
what they did for
Hell
Jurassic World.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's much less cruel. I mean, again, I know eventually they're eating the same things, but again, don't make it suffer that painfully. Being eaten by something otherworldly here. But again, you see the progression here. Again, it's like the doubts have been seen previously, and now we're seeing them visually express to the audience, like, yeah, there's definitely something not right going on here. There's something really fearful. And then it's getting more massaged out there with Muldoon here.
I love Muldoon. Muldoon is basically kind of like an exposition character, but...
Again, they're trying to capture the Muldoon magic with Chris Pratt in Jurassic World.
I don't think it worked. But
I think it's still really different. I'm just saying it's in the same vein of kind of your character with the gun, who's kind of your action-y guy.
Yeah, but I think with Muldoon just kind of came across more realistic, where he just feels like a guy where this is just kind of his job, and he's just going about his job, and he's kind of desensitized to it a little bit.
Yeah, I did really.
It's true.
I do really love with Muldoon though at the beginning. You see, he's really when he goes to save that guy, you see he really is haunted by what happened there. That guy is
absolutely.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he died, right? He's not just really injured. He did because they're paying for the family's reparations, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus, Muldoon isn't the main character. I think if he wasn't the main character, he wouldn't come off as realistic.
Yeah. Of course.
Because they were close to doing something like that with Pratt, but then they kind of with the Navy stuff they kind of followed. But again, let's not talk too much about Dragon stuff. Sorry.
Okay, this is just like a badass restaurant. I just
yes. Again, now the thing's coming up for us here. I think we're still.
Here comes a famous Goldblum speech pretty soon.
They just see all that. They're like, well, who's hungry?
Yeah, well, who's hungry? That's what we're getting at. I love that the plates are also Jurassic World and Jurassic Park plates.
Yes, again, it's like it's brilliant branding.
But again, you see the look on Ellie's face there. It's just that she's looking at it like, yeah, we just saw something get eaten alive, and now we're eating. How creepy. The great lighting in this scene, again, Spielberg love of that spotlight.
But where are the spotlights coming from, though?
No, he has lights all over the side there, see?
Oh, I guess so. They're just projections. Okay.
Well, projections and lights on the side, too.
Right. Okay.
Again, it looks really cool, though.
Yeah, it does. It fits.
Looks like it might get a little warm, though. So I assume it's air conditioned, so it's fine. Let's see. So now we have our dark twist. Everything we saw is now in a new context. Again, they're feeding live animals. Again, we're getting some fundamental flaws being kind of expressed here. And I know it's kind of just because it's already happened, it's going to be prominent throughout. No meat eaters. When you're bringing dinosaurs to life, here's an idea. Before you get into bringing the big show-stopping Tyrannosaurus or the raptors up, again, let's start with no meat eaters, just for a safe cause, especially after one of your guys dies. Big fundamental flaw in the plan here, Hammond.
That's always been a logic jump with the Jurassic Park movies.
I'm just saying, I mean, seriously,
You're selling it.
Well, remember, they realized that they can't just sell it on the herbivores alone.
Well, yeah, but so hey, we brought dinosaurs back to life. I think they can get away with that for a while before they bring, then they start baby steps with the raptors, then with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Then with the poison spitting.
A lot more dangerous than the T-Rex.
Well, I'm saying you have like a control thing set up. You have more security, and saying if you know how smart they are, wouldn't you have a more secure things set up?
Yeah,
but you see what I mean?
Yeah. This is just the great Goldblum debate. This is one of Goldblum's most iconic scenes.
Yep.
What you call discovery, I call the rape of the natural world.
And again, he's absolutely. Goldblum definitely has a point here. That you kind of jumped head first into this. You didn't really kind of think of the implications here. You're creating because you can, and while you can. And basically, Hamlin's saying here is that he's very inventive, but he wants to get kind of the next big achievement. He wants to get kind of the next this evolutionary find in his lifetime. He wants to get it done before down the line he goes away. He wants to see this. He wants to see Jurassic Park instead of just knowing that Jurassic Park is coming. That's kind of his fatal flaw. So that he kind of rushed things to that thing. Again, you want to start with herbivores, then you want to kind of progress to the other things once you know you can handle those things, which
It'd be like if Walt Disney tried to make Epcot before doing Disneyland.
Yeah, it's like baby steps. You got to go baby steps. That's what. But Hamlin doesn't have time for baby steps. So you understand Hamlin words. Sorry, I keep saying Hamlin. Hammond. You understand where Hammond's coming from, and you like the guy. Hammond
and Hamlin need to just sit together and have a nice glass of tea together.
In a giant Jurassic Park glass.
Yes. No, some of B.D. Wong's weird embryo tea, specifically.
You see what I'm saying, though? Again, we do love Hammond, and we get where he's coming from. We do know he did make a serious mistake, and I love that he does hold himself responsible later on. Here we go. Here's the famous line.
Blood-sucking lawyer.
All I've got on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer. I love it. Just thank you. That's a great line. Again, it's just going to pass, but again, Alan Grant, again, he's saying, if anyone at this table understands where I'm coming from, it has to be this guy, it has to be you. And again, he's like saying, believe me, I'm impressed by this, but again, you kind of jumped the gun on this, and he's like, okay, I've had it. I'm astounded here. Attenborough could take a pratfall back in the day.
Yeah.
So what
by the way, there was
on the kid characters.
And
I noticed
the kids were also essentially reversed for this movie as well. Like their personalities and their characteristics.
Right.
Yeah, but I learned a completely new detail I never picked up on my other two or three viewings of Jurassic Park.
CD-ROM.
Well, not that, but that early on is that he mentioned the reason the kids are here is because their parents are getting divorced, which is something they put in Jurassic World to much more boring effect.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I didn't know it came from this movie though. I didn't know the divorce was the reason they were there with their grandpa Hammond.
So I think the dynamic between Tim and Grant might be the funnest thing of the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Just
Tim sees him as his idol.
Alan Grant and Grant just wanting nothing to do with him. Yeah. Ellie just thinks the kid's adorable. He's just like moving from car to car.
And again, I love this trio we have in the car right now. It's so adorable. Grant can't stand the kid. Now he's just trying to get rid of him.
He's just looking at the kid with like fucking Vera Farmiga eyes.
Yes.
Oh god. Which car were you planning on going in? Whichever one you are.
Oh god. It's like a young Steven Spielberg following Alfred Hitchcock around.
Absolutely.
Having any time for kids.
I love how Gennaro is like the responsible babysitter.
Well, yeah, see how all that turns out.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but still, I've always admired Gennaro for like not being bothered that he has to be saddled with that spot. It's like he never complains about it. He's cool with it.
So, in a way, he's kind of the big irresponsible kid. He's like the babysitter,
Yeah. Until he runs away in the face of a giant dinosaur.
And in a way, again.
God, I'm just saying.
In
Samuel,
a way,
he
he's
seems
kind of.
genuinely nice. He seems nice to the kids. All right.
Samuel L.
Well, no,
Jackson.
but he doesn't seem that nice. Remember, he's still, if you've seen Lamb Chops, he's a
Oh,
he's a
that's
little.
true.
He's
That's
not,
true.
he's not too nice to the kids. You know what's kind of funny is that, again, another thing. I've just hit upon this. Another thing Jurassic World lifted from this movie is that the baby, kind of the watcher, the British nanny, essentially.
Yeah.
The British nanny assistant, again, watching out for the kids and doing a really bad job at it.
Right. Okay, so we're at Sam Jackson, right?
Yeah, we just saw Sam Jackson.
Yeah, let's
now.
talk about Sam Jackson. This was Sam Jackson before he was Sam Jackson here, folks.
Yeah, Ray.
Samuel motherfucking Jackson.
I'm Samuel motherfucking Jackson. This is
And
like
because he
right before
smoked you.
Pulp Fiction.
Yep. Well, no, Pulp Fiction came before this, Tiki.
Did it? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Pulp Fiction was in '85. This is '93.
Pulp Fiction was 85? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it was '83.
I don't know about that.
I'll check it.
Someone fact check.
I know. Pulp Fiction is a 90s movie, sir. I'm sorry.
I don't think it is, Tiki. I really don't.
1994.
What?
This came out in 93. You're wrong.
All right.
Pulp Fiction
Thank
is a
you.
1994 American neo-noir crime comedy film directed by Quentin Tarantino.
All right, okay. Sorry.
Okay, we just passed over the iconic gate shot, so let's just give that its due.
Yep.
Oh God. Okay, so Jack Wagner actually did the narration for the Jurassic Park tour, who is the voice of Disneyland on the Disneyland monorail and stuff like that, the Disney World monorail. He's an iconic kind of voice actor in the theme park realm, so I love that they got Jack Wagner. Oh wait,
That
no,
was pretty cool, yeah.
After all, they spared no expense.
this isn't Jack Wagner though. I'm sorry, this is Jack Horner. This is the same guy who did the paleontology.
Okay, so that's who.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got it mixed up.
Tiki, why do you have to mislead us?
Well, that was false.
It's still an awesome Jack though.
Yeah.
Oh, and
It was a fun ride, by the way. These cars are on a track. It's kind of cool.
And remember,
No, it is absolutely.
And remember, they spared no expense.
Yep.
No expense.
I love the dark payoff of that line,
We're
by
gonna
the
be
way. Spared no expense.
Jimmy Fallon in the future.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, Jimmy Kimmel, not Jimmy Fallon.
No, it's Fallon.
Oh, it is Fallon?
It is Fallon.
Oh, I thought it was Kimmel. Oh, my
It's
bad.
Fallon. Anyway, back to Wayne Knight.
Oh God.
So have a little.
Wayne Knight is not like the most stereotypical like image of a '90s computer guy ever.
I don't think so. It's not necessarily just a '90s computer guy. It's just he's as evil as he is
Slim
fat.
Jim, he's got the soda.
Again, I like him having kind of. Again, I get a sense that Hammond's paying him good money, but he just made poor financial decisions, so now he's just being a big baby about it.
And I like that line. So like, I don't hold people.
He says, "I don't blame people for mistakes, but I do ask them to pay for them," and that's a great line, which foreshadows again Hammond is going to be paying for his mistake.
Absolutely.
He's going to be feeling really guilty about that. Again, we have the dark payoff to that line, "Spare no expense," during the ice cream scene coming up. Well, not immediately, but.
So you're right. Like Muldoon is kind of just like he's lounging around, but he's not relaxed. He's tensed at the whole situation. I think he's got that opening scene in his mind.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Look at Gennaro. He's so like he wants to see. I love how childlike Gennaro is in some of this stuff.
It's like, are you planning on having dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour?
I really, really hate that man.
Yeah, like the feeling's mutual, John Hammond. We all hate him. in a loving way, of course.
Of course.
Again, it's funny that he's saying, "Well, look, okay, well, I just saw amazing dinosaurs. You can make a boatload of money. I'm just going to enjoy myself on this vacation now." It's no longer again. Right at the beginning he said, "This is not a vacation." Well, now it's totally a vacation. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth.
Okay.
They both look at her like.
I'm not a huge fan of that line. I think that's one of the lines that kind of dates the movie.
I do think that the two guys' heads turning is kind of hilarious timing, though.
Yeah. It is.
I love their head turns like they look at her like she's nuts.
And again, really cruel. Okay, just poor goat, poor lamb.
Like, she's gonna eat the goat? Well,
However, from the girl, that's a really dumb question, though. What's gonna happen to the? What do you mean? What's gonna happen to the goat? You know what's gonna happen to the
She's like, I happen to be a vegetarian. Like, so the T-Rex has to be one. she's basically acting like the T-Rex has to be one.
So where do we
but
stand
it's still
on
a fucked up situation, though, Jacob. Like, I still, even if I was like a giant carnivore, which I am, I fucking love meat.
Yeah, there's a difference from kind of living, breathing animal versus big slab of beef.
Exactly.
Big slab of beef.
But basically, she's acting like what she brings up is like she thinks they shouldn't eat meat at all.
I don't know. To me, I just think she's kind of disgusted that she has to watch it more than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go with Ian Malcolm just hardcore trolling John Hammond, right?
Yeah, and oh God, here.
Breathing on camera.
Oh, these two are such a great pairing later on. These two. He's just annoying the crap out of
how satisfied he is when he goes back to his seat. He's just like, yeah, I just got under Hammond's skin.
I really hate him, man. Just that's so great.
We all hate him, but in a good way.
Yeah. I think he actually would have been a decent scarecrow. Right? Yeah. He was in
I think Goldblum totally would have been a good scarecrow.
Yeah.
Maybe he will in the DC extended universe.
I'm still rooting for Jude Law for that, but he's not in the running. I'm saying I would love to see Jude Law play Scarecrow. But
maybe in the new DC universe he can.
Well, anything can happen now. They're getting Oscar winners left and right, so we'll see.
Okay, so here's like a small setup for the water.
Yes.
Again, Spielberg uses like a fucking water bumping, water jumping half an inch to the most suspenseful effect possible.
No, this is a David Kep special here with the writing. He took all the dialogue on Malcolm here.
Can I talk about the whole water thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like the whole water cup thing.
Well, do you mean you want to save it for when the moment happens? Or you mean the water here?
When the moment happens.
No, save it for the moment happens.
Yeah, when the T-Rex comes. Yeah,
I know what story you're talking about. Go on with it when it happens, though.
Yeah, but I do like the whole chaos theory thing here.
Yeah, just love it. Goldblum does it. You get a sense of the charm he's laying on her here, and she's just so entertained by it.
And Grant just bails.
I gotta tell you, I love that she knows that she's not gonna go with this guy, but I can still see the cuteness in her there. She still still loves Grant.
Like I'm sitting here talking by myself, talking to myself.
That's chaos theory.
Now he's just talking to himself.
Yeah, that's I mean, nobody else would. I'd be like, I get out of the car because I don't want to listen to him anymore.
Just love the idea of people jumping out of the car with no repercussions, no consequences.
Right.
Yeah, they should have watched on those doors.
Oh, Newman, what are you up to, Newman?
Yeah,
see, there's the boat. The boat is it's a lot more substantial in the book.
Right.
Barbasol.
Was the Barbasol can in the book, or is that just for the movie?
Jacob, do you remember?
No, I think he had something to store it in. It might have been.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
I want to say that's just really, really, really clever product placement.
Well, no. They just saw. They actually saw the can, the shaving cream, the specific design of the Barbasol cans, what kind of tipped them off. Like that actually really convenient.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a marketing deal or anything. At least that wasn't the reason behind it.
I'd still say, they do have a marketing deal with Barbasol for Jurassic World, so.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's because of this movie. Who knows?
And this was all essentially their first time seeing this dinosaur here. Again, the Triceratops. Am I right?
How do you guys feel about that picture that's surfacing online of Spielberg with this Triceratops, and it looks like he hunted it?
I haven't seen that.
There are people that's like, how dare you killed a Triceratops? And then someone else like, dude, that's Steven Spielberg doing Jurassic Park. It's like, I don't care who he is, he killed a dinosaur.
There's no such thing as a dinosaur.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the kid's reaction here, really good. Again, I love how nice she is to this kid. It's like she's that Laura Dern. She's so great in this movie.
I love how this thing looks like. How it looks like it's breathing and moving.
And this is like all their real reactions to
just
seeing
rewatching Laura Dern. She's very Formiga-esque.
Yes. Again, I'm all behind that casting choice she had, Tiki, about her as Barbara Senior.
Okay.
I think she's really good. You know, but yeah, I just love the Spielberg. He did this in E.T. all the time. They didn't shoot this in sequence, but they did, have like you spring things on the actors the first time. Like pretty much all the animatronics were sprung on them for the first time. So you have a really genuine reaction because of that. So here's like it looks so realistic.
That's one of my favorite shots right there with the breathing.
Yeah, it's like an animal or like a hippo or a rhino or something.
I love this moment with Lex. This is my favorite Lex moment. This is like
you're a little ahead of us.
Moments that's really good.
It's just like a few seconds ahead, but now we're seeing Lex.
I don't know. I just think it's really nice that she's like, oh, look at this guy. He's like, he's grumpy on the outside, but he's just a little kid at heart.
With some flashlight acting there.
Spielberg.
Oh God.
I always have funds for flashlights and actors. That's just. So, Tiki, remind me what the idea behind the plant is. They put in what looked nice for the plants, right?
Yeah, which I honestly thought was kind of always a cheap explanation.
Well, no, it kind of makes sense that again showing that.
Yeah, but I agree that it's a little bit of a lazy oversight on the park's part, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can't could they feasibly replicate the old prehistoric plants? Couldn't they find
Not really.
I mean, could they find out what the compositions are of the original plants?
Replicating a prehistoric plant would require a similar process to replicating the dinosaur itself. Then
again, seemingly something that Hammond should have thought of before even creating the herbivores. Honestly, you got to create the environment before you create the dinosaur.
Sure. Yeah. Damn.
Then we see
that is one big pile of shit.
And here's the scene I like to call Ian Malcolm looking into a mirror.
Man, what do you have against Malcolm?
Jesus. Oh God. That was good, Jacob. That was good.
Hey.
Jeez.
I don't really have anything against Malcolm.
No, it was a good show.
But it's that's probably the most meme-worthy thing, though. Just the giant pile of dino poop meme.
Yeah, that's one big pile of shit.
Yep.
Yeah, we heard you, Jacob.
You're talking
I didn't say it. You did.
Watch your hands before you eat anything.
And now he puts it together.
So I just want to point out what Wayne Knight is doing on the computer looks way more like hacking than what Lex is going to do later on in the movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to that because that is the most absurd scene in the movie, and I'm just going to point and laugh at it heartily.
Tiki, tell people about the hurricane because it's coming up.
The hurricane.
The real-life hurricane. Oh.
Well, I don't know. There was a real-life hurricane that delayed the film, and...
Okay, so... Well, I mean, a little funny Attenborough story with the hurricane. Okay, there was Hurricane Kaneki, I think this was, and struck for 9 hours. Richard Attenborough, he slept all the way through, and Spielberg's asking, how can you sleep through this? This is my dear boy. I slept through the Blitz.
Oh, God. Richard Attenborough, he's awesome.
I just love he calls Spielberg dear boy.
Dear
That's
boy.
Awesome. But yeah, so I want to say that they actually shot some of the actual hurricane for the shots coming up towards the edge of the island.
I would say so. I mean,
it looks pretty accurate. I mean, because a lot of the devastation aftermath, pretty much. I mean, it looks identical to the damage that was done after Lawyer gets eaten. Pretty much the environment around him looks exactly like the storm damage.
Right.
And I do like that Samuel L. Jackson. It could have been worse, a lot worse.
Again, that is a great kind of wise line, saying, "Look, someone could have actually gotten eaten by a dinosaur, but we were lucky on this."
Like what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so Newman's asking anyone if they want snacks, right?
Yep.
Newman. I mean, I know he's in Seinfeld. I know he's Newman.
Nedry's gonna get some snacks.
I'm sorry.
He's not Newman.
You guys keep calling him Newman, but this.
Well, he's evil Newman. That's
you might as well call him. You might as well call him Al.
Or Zurg, for that matter.
True. Very true. whatever his character name was from Space
Oh
Jam.
God. Okay, I just noticed his wallpaper is just like this girl in the zebra.
Is it the first time you're noticing that?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 other times.
I'm like, wow, that's classy. That's classy.
I could get him to go Wayne Knight Tantor.
Yeah.
Are you married? Occasionally.
Yeah, so was he married in the books, Tiki?
In the books, I believe he is the same situation where he has a number of ex-wives.
And I believe he has like a steady girlfriend in the book and in the second book and the second movie.
Correct.
He has an adopted daughter in both too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's where things start to go downhill.
Yep.
Oh, Nedry, how you screwed everyone over.
Okay, now you've got to admit, this is a Newman moment, alright? I've got to do it.
I
You
don't
mean,
know.
Yeah.
Never played.
It hasn't happened yet. We're still.
I know,
he's
but
getting
when that
embryos.
comes on, I have to do the Newman thing.
This
Never
embryo
played-
set looks really awesome, by the way. It looks so good.
It does.
Never watched Seinfeld, so I wouldn't really say.
I love that Barbasol can, man. I really do.
I know you do, Dragon. I know.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptor.
It's so clever.
Let's just say that Stegosaurus is spelled wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not the only inaccuracy here.
Well, you know what I mean, like on that thing.
Yeah.
They spelled
Yeah.
Stegosaurus wrong.
There's a Hollywood Babylon segment I could cite right now, but I'm not. It's a shame that Barbasol can never got paid off in the other movies.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping it'd show up in Jurassic World somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Like if someone said they got it before the coolant ran out,
Right.
or if somehow it was preserved in like an amber-like substance, or I don't know.
Damn.
Oh, here we go.
What the hell?
How are those fires still out? Like, still burning?
What do you mean? Oh, it might be fake fire. Could it? They have pyrotechnics that are just gonna keep spurting out fire with a little gas thing on the bottom.
No, yeah, it could be like a pyrotechnics, like a gas thing. I think. I don't think it's like Pirates of the Caribbean style fire.
Yeah, I don't. It's not like a fake, like plastic fire either. It's not like.
It might be just like real. It might be like a good controlled fire.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a gas pump or like a very light gas pump or something. Like going through all of them, maybe. And this movie really showcases rain well. You know, it's like after you gotten caught in the rain for a long time, it just shows even though you could take a step out of the car, you get drenched. And yeah, I love that Muldoon is concerned with the raptors above everything else.
Right, of course.
Because again, raptors killed one of his buddies.
Muldoon is such a practical character in this movie.
Well, it's like, why the hell would the other ones be off?
Oh, jeez.
You have a mole.
And here comes Wayne Knight's biggest mistake.
Yeah.
When he crashes into this sign right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. So again, this is another reference to the boat. You know, the boat was definitely much more significant in the book.
Yeah. What a dope.
Oh my gosh. I love this.
Jackson.
What a
Oh, here we go.
And say the magic word.
Newman!
And again, that what's the poison spitter's name again?
Shit.
It's the
Dialapis?
Dialapis.
Dilophosaurus. Yeah.
The Dilophosaurus. Again, if you never get hit it when it kind of makes its move, when he gets back into that car coming up, if you just hear like, "Hello, Newman," then
Oh God.
Perfect.
Hello, Newman.
Yeah, you're right, Trey. It's like he steps out of the rain and he's just like super wet.
Yeah, again, there's such a great attention to great rain shooting in this movie. And again, spotlights with the headlights for Spielberg. There you got some nice
Of course.
good lighting. Now, you really would think they'd all get in the same car. You really would.
I was like, I didn't say I was scared. I know.
You know, for safety's sake, power's out, we all get in the same car, make sure you know.
Are they heavy? Yeah, then they're expensive. Put them back.
That's a good line.
It is.
The thing is, like, he's like the ticked off babysitter. He's like, I don't even want to be. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I mean, he's diligently dealing with it, but yeah, you're right. He's got kind of a salty attitude about it.
Don't know, he was happy, but now my vacation's been foiled by rain and we're stuck. I'm pissed off again.
Where's the sodium chloride, man?
Again, these goggles, I love that they made a little cameo in the world, but again, I love them here.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the famous rippling water scene.
Yeah, so Jacob, go.
You see, Steven Spielberg, while during the production of this movie, was listening while in his car, was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Like he was pretty much, according to him, he was blasting it on the radio.
Yeah.
And he during production of this movie, he had a cup of water on the dash. What happened was it was creating ripples, and he thought, oh, that'd be perfect to signal the appearance of a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And then he had somebody play, and it took a lot to get it right, but he actually had somebody play underneath the card to get that just right.
Right.
Yeah.
A guitar string, to be correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. Just the right chords, replicated this perfect shot right here.
And then I love how it shakes on the windshield too. And that's the amazing sound work of Gary Rydstrom, everybody.
Yep, it's basically how do you do a visual Jaws theme?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what they did with the water.
Oh yeah.
Again,
guys, seriously, all in one car.
Making a tiny ripple
and
of water in a
thanks
cup
to-
intimidating.
All thanks to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, now here we go. This is the most suspenseful scene in the movie, I think.
This
is great.
is
the
nasty coming up here.
The Goat Lake freaked me out when I was a
This is...
and that's like the T-Rex learning.
Oh God! I mean, they just don't make them like they used to, man. I'm just gonna say it. And here, Gennaro's making his flea.
And that's where the T-Rex learns that the electricity's out.
Oh God! I forgot to see the thing go down.
He left us.
Yeah, Gennaro.
It's not awkward time
seriously.
to pick a poop.
You gotta go.
Guys, seriously, all in one car. Is no one again the buddy system? Kids, get in the car with the adult. Seriously, no. Dinosaur hasn't crossed yet. You still got time.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Goldblum genius.
I have nothing to say about
the snapping. The snapping wires.
God.
Yeah, the snapping.
I love the high tension sound. It's so menacing. Again, it's like they're establishing scale so well without seeing the thing all in one shot. It's like again, we saw a little bit of the head just now, and then we saw little arms first, and now we're building the scale, and now we see it in its full glory here. Oh, beautiful! One of the
most iconic scenes from this movie. Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
Oh yeah.
I hate when you're right. Dr. Grant's probably thinking, yeah, I hate when you're right all the time too.
Now they're going for the flashlight. Why are you doing that?
And again, the girl here, just with Lex here, she's the simple solution. Put the light face down on the seat.
Right.
How hard is that?
Turn the light off. Turn the light off.
If not, turn the light off. Just face it down. Don't wave
Trust
it
me,
back.
this isn't the first simple solution that a kid could have done that they don't do in this movie.
Yep, like handing the adults the gun.
Yes.
And again, sees motion. I love just hearing they sense motion, then we see all the little movements. It puts us on edge. Like, oh, what if the dinosaur saw that movement? Oh. The girl seems like she could be the daughter of Willie Scott, though, with all the screaming she does.
Oh God! Oh come on, that's mean.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm saying it's a daughter. I'm not saying it's like the new Willie Scott. I'm just saying.
The dilating iris is freaking creepy.
Yes. So we should mention, Tiki, as you mentioned, this worked like a dream, which is much of Spielberg's Spielberg's delight. It moved back, it snapped back, left and right, no hydraulic sounds. It worked like a dream.
Absolutely.
However, there was one flaw. There was one flaw with it. Tiki, share it with the people.
I don't know it. I'm sorry.
In the rain. What happens to it in the rain?
It gets wet.
Okay, when it gets wet, there's foam rubber, and basically when they shot this. When they shot this, the foam rubber, it absorbed the water inside and it became heavier and heavier. So in between takes, they have to swat it with towels to get the water off.
Oh God!
Here's another shot we see in Jurassic World.
Even when I was younger, I never understood how that fiberglass kept away a T-Rex. Even when I was younger, I never understood how that worked.
Well, I mean, it's safety glass. It's glass that's designed not to be broken.
But it's a T-Rex. It should be able to, crush those kids even with that.
Okay, now this still bugs the crap out of me. These two guys, they take such a long time to get in the motion here to save these kids.
Yeah, they do.
A ridiculously long time. I mean, darn, what they do is heroic, and I love what they do. Again, look, they're staring at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one. The whole fiberglass thing. I actually find Jurassic World's version more believable than this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that, Jacob. The bubble things are more believable. Yeah.
I mean, that actually looks like they can hold back the dinosaur jaws more than this.
I love the terror of them sinking in the mud. How gruesome. This is heroic. So you guys wish that they got this earlier. Yeah, the first time they're seeing this dino, by the way.
And then Ian ruins it.
No, Ian helps him. Remember,
remember he just the T-Rex was about to go the way that he stepped. So he goes, hey, over here.
Right.
Okay, where are we at? Is Grant pulling? Is Lex?
Now Ian's running away. Ian's running away.
Ian's running away.
Here, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior?
What?
Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior?
Lawyer's eating. Lawyer's getting eaten. Lawyer's about to be eaten right now.
Oh, Lawyer's.
He barged in, and that's why I said what I said.
Toilet. And
there it is.
Now he's Chow.
I mean, I don't necessarily think he's our Lord and Savior, but
he was saying that, talking about he's praying to God, then he's making a Lord and Savior joke because he's mentioning.
The T-Rex is barging in, saying, "Hey, would you like to hear a word about our Lord and Savior?"
But also, it's real funny. Like Stan Winston, when Spielberg was pointing out to me, Spielberg, Steven, we've never tested it in rain. Well, what happens? Nobody knows what'll happen. I don't want to find out. Well, I'm a gambling man. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, God. That sounds like Spielberg.
Heavier and heavier, so he kind of had a quick fix.
Oh God.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of nice how in the footage movies they rectified the whole they can't see if we don't move thing.
Yeah.
Because it's actually been proven untrue, and they reference that.
However, having said that, I do think that's a good device for the movie, though. It's a good rule. You know what I mean? I mean, even though it's not scientifically accurate, I think it works for the narrative.
Oh, we see it's more heat than movements.
Sure.
Yeah, and they said they make that more accurate in the future sequels.
Yeah.
Are we back with Dennis yet?
You see,
they're climbing down the wall.
They're saving Tim. They're going after little Timmy.
And he and Lex are climbing down the walls.
Yeah, they're climbing down right now.
The T-Rex is pushing it.
Wait, are we past Dennis then? I'm lost.
The lawyer has already gotten eaten.
Nedry has gotten eaten?
Nedry has not Nedry, just the lawyer was already now he's climbing down the wall. He's climbing down the wall. Girl's choking him to death right now, hilariously.
And close call number 1.
Oh boy, they're about to be goners by the Jeep.
Okay, I'm so lost.
And here's the scene.
Jeep's coming down.
And here's the scene that was in every trailer and advertisement ever. The whole T-Rex roar.
And that looks so cool. That's a Gary Rice from Special. That is a lion and a baby elephant mixed together and pitched at different levels.
They use multiple different animals for the T-Rex, not just those.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying those are kind of the primaries, just kind of pitched in various ways. But seriously, I did love Goldblum's hero movie.
Is the Jeep in the trees yet?
We haven't seen Nedry yet. Nedry hasn't shown up yet.
No, the Jeep. Is it in the trees?
They already landed. Now we're with bring back my grandchildren. He's assigned
Sure.
Yeah. And now she's going with him.
I can't bring Jurassic Park back online without Dennis.
Okay, I think I'm with you guys. Okay, I'm sorry.
They actually cut off that line in a lot of the trailers, like, I can't bring Jurassic Park back online, and that was it. They just cut that part out.
Dennis Nedry. Now we see Nedry. Now Nedry.
Okay.
Nedry's there. He's about to crash for the second time.
Bye, Nedry.
Here we go.
His name is an anagram of nerdy. I think that was intentional.
Yeah, he might be on something there.
For a while, I thought his name. When I read the book, I thought his name was pronounced nerdy or something.
So like right here, when it gets back into the car, and you don't see the dino immediately. That's what I'm saying. You can just put in that. Just put in that. Hello, Newman.
Am I crazy when I hear something on here when he slips? You actually hear like kind of a whistle sound effect.
Yeah, you hear like that cartoon sound effect. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like you don't hear that anywhere else, but
it's like a cartoon slide whistle.
Why is that even there?
Oh, we've seen the fat guy fall down.
That was the only reason why it's there. It's like to quote Chow from Hangover, haha, it's funny because he's fat.
No, I'm just saying I'm just saying if you're into a pratfall, I mean, it's hard to reference. You know that's one night going down like that.
Right.
I'm saying, give him props for props are doing. Yeah, he's fluctuating weight these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have nothing against him being fat or anything.
Yeah. I mean, to sound like I don't want to. Now fat shaming is a big thing. I don't want to say it again. We love him, whatever his size is. We love Wayne Knight.
Yep, Wayne Knight's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Does he even realize that's a carnivore?
I don't think so.
I think he just assumes all dinosaurs are carnivores.
No, I actually kind of took it as like he's not sure if this is a carnivore or not until the whole like
flashing the teeth thing.
Yeah, right.
I think he just assumes he's in danger here. He's just trying to play nicey nice with it.
Like notice how he calls him like a boy, like nice boy. Like he's unaware that they're all girls, or at that point. Well, this one might actually be a boy. It's not really.
He's literally treating it like a dog. He's trying to play.
Yeah.
At this point, we all believe that they're all girls.
Yeah.
So he's actually playing it wrong. Yeah, no wonder you're extinct. Well, these things are actually probably smarter than you, genius.
Get the stick, stupid.
Things are actually probably smarter than you, Nedry.
Yeah. Well, we know the raptors are way smarter than Nedry.
And probably not in terms of computer science, but everywhere else.
Yeah.
There we go. That fade on that shows up on his face.
It's not. We don't have it yet. And
Boy.
There
we
it
go.
is.
Guys, I cannot keep up with the Netflix thing. I'm sorry.
So.
And just got in his eyes.
Yeah.
I wonder what that actually is that they scored into Wayne Knight's eyes.
At Universal Studios, it's just water, but it's still cool that they have that effect.
I'm just wondering what it actually is that they put into his eyes.
I don't know.
Like, obviously it couldn't be anything too fatal, or too...
Well, no, obviously it's not anything fatal.
Well, you know what I mean, like non-damaging.
Yeah.
Hi, Newman.
Yep.
Hello, Newman.
That's what I'm saying. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And thus, Barbasol is buried in the mud.
Yes.
Lost forever until maybe Jurassic World 2.
But not really.
Probably not.
So again, I like now the premise that now our guys are going to be bonding from this point forward, because now he's kind of stuck with these kids, and going forward, he's going to grow to love them.
Absolutely.
Spielberg.
Lex is just like, she does not know how to handle this.
Yeah, it's like the reluctant.
Grant's like so take charge of the situation. He kicks ass.
Again, he's a teacher first and foremost. He's gonna lead.
Well, any kid at that point would be almost traumatized.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Let's give the kids credit where credit's due. They are giving a good performance. I want to give them that. I think they are.
I just realized that the tires look like
kids. I think these kids are actually kind of unfairly criticized in the movie. I think.
Yeah.
The tires
in general, they're pretty good.
Yeah, the tires.
The script. I'm sorry, Jay. Go on.
Like the funny thing, the tires, even though they stand for BF Goodwrench, they actually say BFG on them.
Oh God. Oh God.
Bit of foreshadowing, Spielberg.
Yep. By the way, well, remember, this was kind of foreshadowed ever since Jaws, where he's using the B-movie dinosaur sound effects going down from Duel. Actually, from Duel, actually, not even from...
Right. Right.
Yeah, pay attention, folks. You might see the next Spielberg project if you look way back in Amblin.
Like even then even now it's foreshadowing BFG.
Well, now
Yep.
we're supposed to be looking out for Jets and Sharks because he wants to do West Side Story now. That's the big thing.
Oh, jeez. Well, we've seen Sharks.
Yeah, that's true. Sharks.
And he's
Sharks.
directed-
There we go. There we go. Fucking.
And he wrote East Eli and the Roger of the Skies, which is a fighter plane movie. So he's actually done
Grant,
Jets and
he's
Sharks.
so good with this kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, it's like the reluctant father. That's kind of the reluctant father figure is what you have with Grant here. And again, over time, he's getting in the bun.
I would say this is the most exciting scene in the movie that doesn't feature any dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, and again, you gotta remember, in this scene here, again, if Grant is just kind of not being patient with this kid, if he's being as patient with the kid as he was with the kid from earlier on, this kid's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think he's more aware. I think he like adapts depending on the situation.
Yeah.
He does.
And again, I love this whole treehouse thing, Blade J. You ever build a thing with your father? Oh, me
Yes,
neither. Okay.
yes.
Like I said,
Oh, God.
at least with the kid at the beginning, there wasn't any risk of being eaten by a carnivorous dinosaur,
Sure, but he did have kind of a claw on him, so.
or falling from a tree to their death, about to be crushed by a car.
True.
This is a really ingenious setup here. It's like, who would ever think of like running away from a car that's falling down a tree?
Oh, I love just how
It's so
tense.
clever.
Look how tense is it. Like, literally, without those branches, they would have been gone. Or seriously, like a branch right above his head
It's
stopped.
great. It's great. It's classic Spielberg tension.
And it's still coming. And the laws of physics here, folks. They hurt us all. I love with the back tire. Again, I love that the T-Rex is eating it like a donut earlier on.
Right, yeah. Okay, this is great when they have to.
Here's a car chase, folks.
Yeah. I love how they replicate this in the ride where where the Jeep topples off the side of the building and lands right near the boat.
And they're very lucky there's a spacious car.
Well, back in the car again.
Yeah, the kid has some good one-liners. You know, well, you know something really sweet. This kid, his cameo in Jurassic, in the Lost World. I believe it might have paid for his college tuition.
Aw.
It was really sweet. You know,
It's
it's a
in
nice
The
little.
Social Network, which is one of my favorite movies. So every time he pops up in The Social Network, I'm like, oh, it's Tim.
Hey, here's some good flashlight shots here. Want to point that out?
Spielberg again.
Oh yeah.
Spielberg's at it again. There's a bit of the lawyer. Over there. Over
It's
there.
over there and over there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just amazed. I'm brilliantly pointing out. Yeah, she is very Formiga-esque.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, it's like the third,
They
fourth
barely miss Malcolm.
Yeah. And again, I want to just give him credit with Chris. I did like Malcolm's sacrifice. Again, it's really ill-timed. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was really heroic, though.
Well, even though he kind of caused the whole thing to happen in the first place.
Yeah, but they were both taking so long to act in the moment. I guess he didn't know if Grant was getting into motion now or not. But again, heroic sacrifice. Again, kind of pointless sacrifice, though.
Yeah.
I like his police chances.
So did they actually see remains of the lawyer? Is that what you saw?
No, let's see. He was absconded with. I mean, if any, do you think there would have been legs left behind, or?
Wait, but I just realized.
I was just wondering what she was looking at when she said, "I think this was too."
I think it's kind of. Never mind. Never mind.
I'm not sure, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
All right.
They following the tracks.
Like,
Sadler's smart cookie.
like, wait a minute. And like, how it crawled through the wires and then they fell through the same area the T-Rex came through, right? They fell through the same area the T-Rex came through, right? Or was it the opposite side?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then how did the T-Rex fit through there if there's like a huge hole down there?
Wait a minute. T-Rex climbed up there and then he's running around, so. Well, he could just jump down.
I'm just saying, it's like there's no. Oh, here's
let's not dwell on the T-Rex appearances because we're gonna get into that in the third act.
all right. I love this part.
Yeah, I love this. It feels like so kind of kids with action figure staging, but it works so well because you have. This is how you would play as a kid. You'd have Goldblum in the back facing the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Awesome.
Right.
We must go faster.
I was a little freaking out in the back there while our cool action heroes driving. We got Laura turn the cockpit.
This movie probably made the phrase "objects in mirror larger than they appear."
Yeah. And again, that's was used in Toy Story. They
Oh yeah.
Toy Story 2. It's a little mirror gag. Man, this shot still looks awesome, and her scream is very Farmiga-esque.
Yes.
No, it's Laura Dern.
Now the T-Rex animation here, him breaking through that tree. I think what was it? All the animation was took an hour or something for one frame or.
Wow. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we're in Toy Story times, but they're both in production.
This is like the dawn of CGI right here. So
this is like the pinnacle of CGI used in movies, where Toy Story was like using CGI for a full-length film.
Totally.
I do know it was an excruciating long time, but just to get one shot of that, one frame of that rendered, which is awful.
Well, actually, what they did for that scene, and scenes like that when the dinosaurs kind of in pursuit, they used kind of an early 93 style kind of animatic, using animatic previs sort of thing. Again, they used stop motion with Phil Tippett's stop motion.
One cool thing. Speaking of that, Steven Spielberg almost storyboarded everything in this movie himself. He had storyboarding. Maybe not him himself, but he had this entire movie basically storyboarded.
Yeah, well, you see what they did for a lot of storyboarding in the animatics is that they use this lipstick camera. He attached it to a model car, and that's how you get kind of the scale from the car's point of view looking up. And again, they'd have stop motion dinosaurs added into the footage so they can get a good it's early previs. That's what it was, and it's really clever.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is probably the most beautiful moment of the movie, I think.
Oh yeah.
This is where Jurassic Park absolutely could work. Just have kind of learning about dinosaurs up close. There's no threat there except from being sneezed on. That's the worst thing that could happen to you.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Dragon, because this absolutely is kind of like a showcase of, all right, if Jurassic Park did work, then you could get experiences like this, and it'd be magical.
I like that. They're not monsters; they're animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're following their instincts.
Yes, again, start baby steps. Herbivores, give them the proper plants, which these guys seem to be able to find on the top level here instead of the ground level. Everything goes great. Let's install an escalator and you're set.
Right.
Well, I love the Apatosauruses. They're one of my favorites.
Nice. Also, they are very popular in The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, and I forgot to mention also, of course, Land Before Time as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course...
See, I'm sure that's what most people think of when they think of dinosaurs. I don't know why people, they couldn't just make Park based off of those.
Well, it's because the sequels were just hammered into oblivion, and no one has any...
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm talking within the realm of the movie, not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you saw us? Cute. Yeah, this is a cute scene. Again, he's putting the arms around the kids, and that's all safety and then intrigue coming up. All good stuff.
That tree reminds me of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse at Disneyland.
That reminds me of the Tree of Life.
Okay, tell me this is not a gift shop that just looks straight out of fucking Universal Studios.
There's something symbolic there. He tosses the thing that great visual storytelling there. He tosses the raptor claw down, which he used to threaten the kid earlier on. Now he's ditched it, so he's kind of getting closer to the kid's visuals. That's really clever. Yeah, the gift shop though. The gift shop looks amazing.
And this is actually my favorite scene in the film.
This is a very excellent scene, Tiki.
Unquestionably, this is the best scene in the film.
The making of Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Well, no, it's the backstory and how Hammond conveys it and what it says about his character.
I love the logic of dudes like, okay, we're gonna eat the ice cream first because that's gonna melt and it's gonna be useless. So I mean, if the power did go out, that's it explains why they're eating ice cream. But again, that spared no expense line at the end has so much sad connotation now that you've seen. He's been beating himself up over. Now he's put people in danger. He jumped ahead of himself. And
now, do they have a restaurant like this at Universal?
Kind of. I mean, there is sort of. Yeah. There is sort of a place.
It's not as elaborate as this, and it's not as it's not a recreation of this building or anything, but they do have a Jurassic Park.
It's more like a place you can eat, it's like little tables and little table set up, but it's not exactly like as intricate and beautiful as this place is.
Well, it's a missed opportunity there.
But it's their attempt to it's replicating it on a budget, I guess. Again, opposed to no expense spared.
It's Universal. They can afford it.
I know they can afford it. I'm not saying will they afford it.
Universal apparently can't afford animatronics anymore. That's one thing they fucking can't afford.
Right?
Apparently all they can afford is Martha's Vineyard now.
And screens. Just lots and lots of screens.
Yeah. Okay, Hammond's gonna tell us what kind of it's going through Hammond's head here.
Oh God. Okay, so this whole thing about the flea circus, it was just an optical illusion. It was just like these tiny, like little, teeter totters and everything that were mechanical and would go on their own, and people would think it was fleas. Like, look at the little fleas, mummy. I mean, I actually I might just pull up this whole speech and do it when we're doing the credits because I love this monologue. This is one of my favorite movie monologues right here. This isn't just my favorite moment in this movie. This is one of my favorite moments in all of movies, honestly.
And again, Laura Dern just kind of dropping some hard truth on Hammond here.
Yeah, this place is the flea circus, John.
Yeah.
You never had control. That's the illusion.
Yes, and his flaw there is he's placing it on his Nedry. Is this one element? But next time I'm going to fix this one element. But no, there's a lot of elements you got to keep in consideration here, man.
So I love this scene because we're right in the audience with Hammond. Like, we want, even after we've seen all this shit go down, we still kind of want that childlike whimsy that Hammond has for that place.
And again,
to come true, but we know it can't. We know it can't.
And what these two actors are conveying so great, you have this whimsy and you have this emotion coming from her of she's yelling at him just to get through his head. She's not trying to be mean or something, or she's not angry at him. She's like, look, I'm upset. I'm very upset at this situation. The man I love is in danger, and your grandchildren are in danger too. Wake up, man. But she takes a bite of ice cream, which is adorable.
No, that is absolutely like I said, it's one of the quintessential monologues in movies for me.
Spared no expense.
You guys have Brontosaurus yet?
It spared no expense, almost at the cost of his grandchildren.
Yeah, right.
These movies make leaves look so tasty.
Well, I'm sorry, Jacob, but I think The Land Before Time has tasty leaves cornered with their tree stars, though.
Yeah, the tree stars always look tasty.
Yeah, the tree stars were that was Legend of Sleepy Hollow style.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about the tree. I forgot what they were called. Yeah.
All right, this is the most lighthearted this movie ever gets. It's a fun time.
And again, if Jurassic Park was this, Hammond just needed to take baby steps, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so ever getting sneezed on, it's all good. Again, like a cow, It's except for excess dino droppings and sneezing, you're all good. Like a big cow.
That kind of makes you think what dinosaurs would taste like.
Oh God.
I could be reading into this, and I could be crazy, but do you think the kids kind of look like the hypothetical children of Grant and Stadler?
They kind of do.
Yes, they do.
I don't know if that's intentional or anything, but they kind of.
I don't know. It seems kind of intentional. Might be coincidence, though. Might be coincidence.
They are not the biological parents to them in the context.
I'm aware of that. I'm saying just visually, do they look like?
No, I can see it. Yeah, it's like the blonde and then the kid with the sandy brown hair.
Because I mean, the girl does look a lot like kind of Laura Dern's character. You know?
And look at Tim's hair compared to Grant's hair. There,
Yeah.
Like I said, they're both.
And here's the scene where we go, oh shit.
Oh, boy.
Right.
There
This
it
is
is.
kind of during our third act right here, where it's like, okay, everything's gonna go to hell now.
They're breeding.
But again, it's like in a way, it kind of strengthens Grant's arc there. Arc there of, you know, he realizes on some levels, you know, these I like these kids, and it's just visually establishing that like, these actually could be like my son might be like this kid, or my daughter might be like this girl. You know, it's like kind of on some subconscious level, it's like hypothetical, like these are what your kids could be like, man.
Absolutely.
And with that, frogs.
Oh, boy. BD Wong, go to the corner, man. You do.
PD Wong, go to the naughty chair.
Yes, no milk. Milk's for later.
Oh God.
Life finds a way.
No weird embryo tea for you, BD Wong.
Dun, 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 dun,
And now I
dun,
present the most glorious image of the movie.
Life found a
Jeff Goldblum's chest.
way.
In those eggs, you'll see in the Velociraptor egg earlier, the animatronic, there was like the red.
Well, the embryo, sort of.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's the embryo.
And those eggs don't have any of that, so it's.
Well, it's because it's been ages, though. Time has passed.
Oh, I thought those were like freshly hatched.
Well, I don't think they're fresh.
The footprints were fresh.
Well, I mean,
it had just rained the previous night, so they would have been washed away.
Yeah, that's true.
all right, well, fine.
I'm not
So
sure.
most of the
I'm not
Just
sure.
a little flaw in the filmmaker's part.
All right, well, okay, let's say compared to the other more gaping flaws, that one's like an easy one to give a pass to.
Yeah, of
It's
course,
big.
of course.
Oh, also, I want to point out that John Hammond gets the opening date of Disneyland wrong in this movie. He says they opened Disneyland in 1956, not 1955. I'm sorry, just a little. It's not a plot hole; it's more of a factual error. But
Maybe was there like some sort of press opening or something the previous year?
no,
Okay,
the press opening was July 17th, and then it opened to the public like a day later.
Like, people are dying. Like I said, like he's like, screw the dinosaurs. People are dying.
oh yeah.
And it's kind of funny how they pointed out that Nedry shut down everything but the Velociraptors, because even he knew that the Velociraptors were not to be messed with.
Flashlight action.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Flashlight. What do you think of the hold on to your butts catchphrase?
I'm not crazy about it, but I think it's kind of ironic that Samuel L. Jackson, even though he's not Samuel L. Jackson mode, he still kind of has an awesome catchphrase in this movie, even though he's not like badass Sam Jackson yet.
He doesn't get badass until he's bald.
Well, remember,
I say Pulp Fiction a year later is
yeah,
when
come on.
he really turns into badass Sam Jackson.
He rocks the Jerry curl.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
This is like Sam Jackson right before he exploded in Pulp Fiction.
And remember, smoking equals death in movies for the most part, so, he smokes it.
Right.
That to be his maker. It's like, let's just say it's also saying in Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Now, one of the things in the book that I really didn't like reading it was they kept cutting back to Arnold in the control room like every other chapter, and that just kind of got monotonous. There was just a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff with Jurassic Park. Maybe if I read it again, I'd find those parts more interesting, but I was just always wanting to go back to, like, Grant and the kids.
Tiki,
Okay.
tell him the Gallimimus story.
Gallimimus. Dude, you just say, like, tell him the story. I don't know, like, these specific...
Tell him the skeleton test. Tell him about the skeleton test.
Skeleton test. Well, they had the skeleton, and, that was... The skeleton was the robotic skeleton, right?
Yeah, they were testing kind of if they could even ILM. The first thing they did before they built full dinosaurs, they were building skeletons, and they placed it in the Hawaiian setting, and it looked so good they figured they kept pursuing it, and then they made kind of this scene right here was the one that kind of gave them digital dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
And then that's what, from that point forward, then you had kind of like stopping the stop motion. Basically, they used they had armatures for the stop motion, so they still need their guys to kind of show them how to work the armatures, but basically scan them in digitally,
Right. It's so cool when the T-Rex comes in this scene.
Oh yeah. And again, this is the main scene. This is my visually what I've seen of Jurassic Park. Aside from this, the water bit in the trailer it was this bit right here from the Pixar story when they showcase ILM's technology. Right there when he bites into the dinosaur.
What do you guys think of the idea that the T-Rex is almost kind of like a protector of the main characters in a way?
I don't think it's intentional. Because he tried to eat them. Because she tried to eat them.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's kind of interesting how she's kind of like following them around, and like I know it's not intentional on her part, definitely not, but I do think it's kind of an interesting idea where she ends up being the one that saves them in the end.
From the Velociraptors.
Well, I think Tiki,
from
that's
the
intentional.
Velociraptors.
That's intentional to show kind of the beauty and the danger of Jurassic Park. Again, it's rolled one saying, again, there is potential that you could have such a destructive animal, but still have it have it be observed and still kind of not a threat to you. That's kind of the idea. It's like still you want to start with something much safer, not a meteor at all. But again, that's the dream of having like a Tyrannosaurus that's going to be on your side. That's kind of like there's still potential for this.
And yeah, Jacob. There's the Pirates of the Caribbean line, yeah.
And then they opened Disneyland in 1956.
Not 1955, 1956.
You see what I mean, though, right?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean, Dragon. Yeah.
Did they have to get any kind of permission from Disney to use those lines? Or?
I have no idea.
Well, we know Spielberg had the Mickey Mouse sweater, so he's not afraid to break protocol.
I don't think they need. I don't think they need a copyright to mention or permission to say Disneyland, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I think as long as they're not saying in the defamatory matter, I think they might be safe.
Because I know Disney's pretty down on that.
Maybe they can mention Disneyland as long as they don't actually like show Disneyland. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they can just. I don't think they hold the copyright on its word.
Right. I'm not.
They might on Disney.
Sure.
I
mean, I'm sure they do.
That's
Copyright on the word Disneyland, Jacob. I'm sure they do, but
I'm sure they wouldn't. I'm sure they wouldn't like sue them for saying, "Oh, you said Disneyland, we're gonna sue you." I don't think they're that stingy.
Only unless you say something really bad about it beforehand, like
right.
Like Hitler works in Disneyland. That's.
I just love how in this scene Muldoon is totally like the action hero of his own story in his own mind. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
he perceives himself to be such a badass right here.
Yeah, he thinks he's Indiana Jones with the kind of
absolutely, yeah.
And this is when you were like, "Oh crap! Now the Raptors are."
Yeah, it's not good.
He's like, even Nedry knew better than mess with the Raptors.
Again, our guy here is set up that way early on that the Raptors are really intelligent. They can remember certain spots and like where they kind of try to break through the fence, and now they've actually done it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's nice that they point out even Nedry knew better than mess with these guys, because that means they're dangerous. The Raptors are probably even more dangerous than the Rex.
The Raptors, I would say, are definitely more dangerous than the T-Rex.
I wonder if there's any way they could recast Bryce Dallas Howard for Vera Farmiga in the next Jurassic Park movie.
Thank you for. I fucking hate Bryce Dallas Howard in that movie.
Can't we just say like just got recast and just not talk about it?
Or just not use her character because she was a nothing character.
Yeah. It's a shame because I like that actress, but she never gets any good work. I love the intensity how they follow her so closely, and then again, it's like this, getting the sense of the Raptors are really close behind her anywhere. Great lighting. Spielberg,
absolutely.
you lighting genius, you. Pre-Janusz.
Oh god.
Dean Cundy.
Yes. So again, I love this pairing. He was so set up. I really hate that man. Now these two guys are paired up together.
Exactly. I want to see a road trip with these two.
Like, I understand how to read a schematic.
Malcolm and Hammond go to Vegas.
Yes.
And then the T-Rex.
Or better yet, they go to Disneyland.
Okay. Now you see, John. We're on the Pirates of the Caribbean, John, and it is broken down, John. But the Pirates of the Caribbean, John, they're not actually eating the tourists.
Ian, listen. I want to do research for my next installment to Jurassic Park. So I want you to come with me to Disneyland. I want you to just board my mystical helicopter.
Okay, wait.
Land.
I'm sorry, but who thinks this is just a total dick move from Grant?
Oh, I think it's hilarious. It's to show you he hasn't fully come around yet. He hasn't saved the kid's life yet, but again, it's good foreshadowing for that, but also it's showing that he's having a little bit of fun, but still it's not quite. He doesn't quite get like what
Building up
the line is.
Really like, Ian, I need to come here. I need to make genetically modified pirates.
Again, it's like when you break this movie down and you think about how many of the set pieces actually don't have any dinosaurs in it, it's kind of impressive. You know, you have the Jeep falling down out of the trees. You have them trying to climb up over the fence.
I think the boy could actually fit through one of those little.
You know what, Sandy? I'm glad you mentioned that because that always bothered me as a kid.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
And he's the last one to get down, and he gets electrocuted. He can just fit right through.
Well, I don't know. There looks like there's kind of like chicken wire. Do you think he could squeeze through that?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would,
I mean, he doesn't have a knife on him.
he can make it.
I would think that Grant would have like a pocket knife on him.
Yeah.
Cut the
Well,
wire.
again, I don't think it might be too tough for him to cut with the wires, though. I don't know.
He should have kept the Velociraptor claw.
And also they are kind of in a rush, so.
That's true.
But no, I think the kid could have made it through one of those. He's really small. Look at him. I'm not saying it's like like 1,000. I think it might be a little bit of a squeeze, but it's wire. It's not it's not a giant metal bar or anything. Anyway, so with kind of with the little jump scare there, I just want to mention that again. You see, kind of he's bonding with the kids, but again, he's still not quite there. Again, the girl's getting sneezed on. They're scaring the bejesus out of the kid. he's not quite there. Again, he's slowly getting there. He's not quite the responsible kind of parent father figure yet. He's just kind of like having fun.
Right.
This was such a well-edited scene right here. This
Yeah,
was one of the best.
I agree.
I
agree.
I would argue again. There's a lot of really great directed scenes in this movie. This one would be one of the best, the best edited.
And again, it's one of the scenes that has absolutely no dinosaurs in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this is where Spielberg kind of earns his merit here with the editing and the directing on this scene. Switch them on again. I love that they're all labeled. We know a few of these locations. Again, we just pan down below all the intensity was. We pan all the way down and see. Oh boy, that's where our boy is.
Right.
Timmy, little Timmy, don't fall down the electric well. Get out! Jump into Sam Neill's arms. I know out of context that sounds bad. Jump into his arms.
Jump either.
Or as Blue Dude said. Timmy's getting held gunpoint in the bank.
Oh God.
Timmy, don't be a dope. Jump. And too late. He's dead. Oh, he is dead.
I
mean, the kid does die here. His heart stops.
Here's Bambi music.
Okay, I would say the raptor coming out right there is probably the equivalent to we're gonna need a bigger boat. And keep in mind, that's the first time that you see a raptor up close. That is the first time you see a full view of the raptor.
That was the first time she saw it up close, too.
I noticed how, I not just noticed, but I noticed how the steam's coming off it when the light bulb touches it.
Yeah.
So I think Arnold's arm is, like, by far the cheapest effect in this movie.
It's the what?
The cheapest
arm.
effect.
Oh,
it doesn't really
probably.
Even when I was younger, I didn't think that was really. It's like when I was younger, I was like,
yeah, it literally looks like something you get at a Halloween store.
when I saw that when I was younger, I was like, she got a plastic arm down there.
Oh,
I love that trailing light behind her. I love that light following her.
okay, here comes Muldoon. Here comes his.
Again, she really took a beating from when he came up to that fence there. She really got another wind out there. That's why she's looking like that, folks.
Mm.
I guess Malcolm's. Sorry,
Muldoon.
Malcolm. It's Muldoon. Thank you. Muldoon's moment to shine here. A little brief moment to shine.
It's his moment. It's his moment.
And there's the hat.
Moment of death.
No one can take this moment away from him.
except the clever girl.
I just really want him to turn around and say "clever girl." I really want him to do that. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Again, why didn't Chris Pratt say that in Jurassic World? Come on.
Because he didn't die?
No, but he could have said that like when the raptors were teaming up with each other. I don't know.
Those are some awesome final words, though.
Yeah, clever girl is an awesome way to go out. For sure.
That's basically if Quint had like a witty one-liner before he went. That's what he would say.
You're right.
It's like, clever girl.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's really awesome that Grant here saves his kid's life. His heart stops and he snaps him out.
Oh.
Clever girl. Insert comedy drum snare here.
Da 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 da.
All right. Good. Timmy, don't go into the light. Now he's back.
Yeah, these kids are really good actors.
Yeah,
They are.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Okay, we're all safe. We're all indoors. Nothing bad happened inside this location at all. There's no foreboding set pieces in the foyer. Nothing. We're all good. We're all going to get some happy snacks, and we're all going to get out of here.
Absolutely, Dragon. That's totally how the rest of the movies go down.
Yeah, someone break out the happy snacks. We're done here.
Get out the gummies and the fruit boxes.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The juice boxes.
There's a raptor on the wall, but it's painted on. There's no ominous
Okay, you want
foreshadowing.
to talk about really, really good-looking food, though?
Yes.
The Jell-O.
Always.
Uh-huh. I mean, this is the most appetizing Jell-O.
And the kid just died, and he's come back to life. So let's give him some food here.
No, I think the food in Hook, the little play food is.
Yeah, the imaginary food. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at I love the icing on those cakes. Look at that ice in there.
Right.
Are those pancakes? There were some pancakes there. Even serves breakfast.
Oh god, here we go.
I love the intensity behind Run. Again, she's seeing the man she loves. Oh my god! So I love that we barely know anything about their relationship. I love that it's communicated just by how by how kind of well they are in scenes together.
Uh-huh.
And they're really separated throughout the course of this film. But I think you feel the connection though, right?
No, you do for sure.
The shade. Here's the food.
Yeah, there's the Jell-O.
No, I mean that's when
Chicken Jell-O.
that's one of the oh crap moments. That's definitely one of the oh crap moments.
Now this is probably okay. This is actually the best directed scene in the whole film right here. Turn the lights off again. This scene, pretty much, this scene is the big famous scene. This blends all the methods of bringing dinosaurs to life in this film right here.
Absolutely.
So we got our animatronics, we got our guys in suits. We literally have amazing. I didn't even know this until today.
We have guys in suits. Yeah. Like
I had no idea. I'm amazed by that.
Like a combination of all their techniques.
Yep. And then we have some kind of stop motion previs, which gave us the kind of the ILM effects of them jumping up. It looks amazing. It looks seamless. Again, it's all blended together, folks. That's what we need to do in movies today. We need to blend together the practical and the practical and the CG.
And unless they figure out how to open doors.
Yes.
This was like back in the early '90s, and you know that Velociraptor you can like touch and pet at the Universal Studios now.
Yeah.
It looks like utter crap. It's way oversized, and it. I'm just surprised that they could do what they did back then, and they can't recreate that now.
It's so frightening when it calls for its buddy here.
Oh yeah. I love the sound of the dinosaur calling. It's like, it's almost Godzilla. Like, I think that's the closest sound that we get to a Godzilla sound in the movie, but it's still very animalistic.
Oh, geez, that shot right there when it looks side to side and goes up. Oh, boy. So I love about this scene, I love the tensions, like all the little... It's not even with the... Because we know they're in the room. We know it's things. When they disappear, that's when they're at their most terrifying. We see the soup ladle drop, and we know, oh god, they're gonna find them.
It's a classic horror movie setup of like the monster's there, but you don't know where he is, and he could be right around any corner.
Again, best directed. The other scene is the best edited scene. This is the best directed scene where we see kind of that great reflection shot. Remember where the little fake out with Lex in the box.
And it's scary because they're smart.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then the claw comes out. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you're right, Dragon. The ladle dropping and him looking over.
Well, these are guys in suits.
Yes. Except for when the head pokes out here in the other thing.
Yeah.
It's a close call when the thing comes out, when the Velociraptor comes out behind that thing.
Yeah. Now the ladle's dropped.
Whoop.
And there's the table jump. Again, so seamless. Again,
It shows how versatile they are, how agile.
Again, the reflection shot that's about to come up is just—it's so impressive. Again, it's like if you're gonna do a fake out, that's how you do a fake out, folks.
That was allowed, like him slamming against that table there.
Yes, just about
That was
to
pretty
happen.
loud.
Right there, and you see her jump in the little slot there. The teeth, so well directed. I love the lighting in this scene too. It's like really kind of intense, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing.
Kind of like magic. It's magic hour lighting almost.
It's a good thing. Yeah. It's a good thing. The Velociraptors don't understand the concept of a reflection.
Yes. I love it when she kind of locks one of them in the freezer. It looks like it's a freezer door. I know that. A lot of limping in this movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that still hurts. There you go, kid.
You're right. A lot of lipping in this movie.
There you go. Put the little lock thing. Put the little lock in there.
Tied open that door.
Also, you know, a nice little thing is that he's using the bandana. It's like he has his bandana's around his hand, very similar to how Grant has his little bandana at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, right. Well, the bandana on his head is a bandana from the movie.
I thought he also had his own bandana too.
No. That's just part of Grant's costume.
Okay, well, it's cool as he can just showing these, you know.
I love how the Velociraptor there isn't going after them. He's just watching them and glaring at them.
Yeah.
It's menacing.
And surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, that's terrifying. What happened to what happened to Statler's pink shirt? Why'd you get rid of that?
Because that was an overshirt. She was wearing that over it.
Well, I know. Why is she? I know she's wearing it over it. I'm saying, what happened to the pink shirt? Why she ditch it?
Maybe in a deleted scene. I don't know. I don't know why she's.
I mean, probably because she actually had time to go back to the resort and change, and her clothes were probably filthy after the T-Rex attack.
Well, she's even wearing.
Okay, folks, you want to talk about the most contrived scene in the movie? We're in it. We're in it.
Yes, it's so last minute, and that she's a computer. We know she was marveling at the computers. Again, right here. Okay, let's address it. So again, girl, guy, Timmy, Lex. Hand them the gun!
You know what? I don't blame Timmy. I blame Spielberg because I can just see Spielberg being like, "Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to show a child handling a firearm."
Just kick it to him. Just leave me.
I know. And can we talk about how ridiculous this hacking is? Like, what the fuck? It looks like a PS1 style like shooter.
It's a game. She's playing a game.
Exactly.
She's not Oracle.
It's great. It's like this is what hacking looks like, folks. It's fucking adorable, in all honesty.
And this is why we have so many hackers, because they
like
saw
I said, the ironic thing is that the Nedry hacking in this movie that they portray is actually pretty accurate to how hacking was done at the time.
I mean,
it's just like absurd.
So even to tell me, Sam Jackson is a pretty smart cookie in this movie. He couldn't figure out how to override it, yet the girl can.
Yep.
It never showed him leaving either. It just showed him showed that arm. It never showed what happened to him.
Yeah. How it should have been suggests that there are other black guys on the island, but
yeah.
It's the same shirt, all right. Like
I said, even when I was younger, I saw that one arm. That arm come through the Velociraptor after the Velociraptor. I was like, she found a plastic arm down there.
Jacob, that's exactly what I thought too.
It just passed, but I love just the intensity on Attenborough saying "Grant." Also, I love it when he kicks the Velociraptor coming on when Grant kicks the Fox. It's so awesome. So right here is actually some really impressive face replacement, early on face replacement coming up.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
think it's cool to have like the DNA sequence on the Velociraptor.
Yes, that looks so awesome.
That's actually DNA sequences.
Yes, yeah, all the AGTC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Kicks it right in the face. There's the face replacement. Stunt woman with the girl's face on it. Really? Oh, yeah. Sorry, just gonna jump there. It's that close to the leg for you.
That's actually doing a mistake. The stunt woman wasn't supposed to look up like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, like that's why there's facial replacement. That's what I heard. At least that's what I heard. I might be completely wrong.
Okay, so the third act here, folks, was initially different. So the T-Rex is going to save the day, but actually the skeleton of the T-Rex. So basically, the raptors are each going to be killed brutally by the skeletons falling as they were kind of climbing on them here.
Okay.
But they said, let's just get a little more T-Rex magic out of it here for the.
And in doing that, I think they give you like probably one of the greatest moments ever put on celluloid.
And you have, awesomely, by the way, Spielberg was basically in a Jaws situation and kind of a Pixar situation constantly. It's like, you're wondering how the heck the T-Rex got in there, and a guy was asked, I guess the writer or someone was asking Spielberg, how did the T-Rex get in here? And he said, look, he just explains why it works and why it's great, and he doesn't give him an answer. So really, like, how did the T-Rex get in there? It's like Jaws. The last few minutes you've invested everyone in so far. No one cares, as I like to quote the Pixar Toy Story commentary. We don't care.
Fucks how the T-Rex got in there. Yeah. Not two flying fucks.
So I just love that Pixar commentary quote, like, we don't care.
It just
no
happened.
One cares. Yes.
Like,
it's awesome. Who cares? It's the last 30 minutes. Let it go.
Jacob?
They said, who cares? It's a movie. No matter when it is, just enjoy it.
Yeah. Right here. Here's the save.
Whoop.
Yeah. And it works a lot better than just them being killed by skeletons. Again, the dinosaurs saving the day.
I think that would have been super anticlimactic, actually. How triumphant is it? How triumphant is it? And Dragon, you're absolutely right on the money. It's a glorious example of like kind of like the majesty of Jurassic Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if they didn't have something like this in there, Tiki, I mean, it's lucky they worked out like so they actually had this ending in there. Because if they didn't have this, it would have left a bad taste in your mouth about Jurassic Park. Like, oh my God, this place is a horror show. They should never reopen this place again. We should just completely throw out Hammond should just donate to the victims' relief fund and then just let's get out of here.
But because we have this last moment here, and it's fucking awesome. It's
when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Best shot.
Yeah. That is the best shot. That is probably my favorite shot in all.
I'm honestly amazed you didn't use that as the little
cinema.
I'm surprised you didn't use that as like the image for the commentary.
Trust me, I tried. I couldn't find one big enough. Yeah.
And I like that even Hammond doesn't endorse in Park, and now he's looking on as the dinosaurs roar in the distance.
Oh God, there's so much great character stuff to glean from these last couple minutes.
I love that it's these two characters together. One who was like, he was amazed by this, and the other one who's like, no. He was so excited about it when it came to him with this news, and now he's like the complete opposite of that. It's great, kind of being full circle.
He's almost kind of like the supportive son of Hammond in a way. He's kind of like, all right, come on, Dad, you did your best. You know what I mean?
In a way. But yeah, I love him longingly. Attenborough, he sells it so much, longingly looking at the ember. At the end, like, my hopes and dreams are, I've created something bad here, but again, there's you can also look at like,
fucking Alan Grant's come full circle, folks.
Hey, don't say it so mockingly, Tiki. This is a nice way of coming full circle. This is nice.
It's very simple. It works. It's just like, oh, he hated kids in the beginning, but now he likes kids.
You saw what he went through with these kids. You know why he's definitely.
You know what? Unfortunately, I have to say it, but like, I hate how Jurassic Park 3 kind of like puts the ending of the original Jurassic Park in a different context where these two split up.
And what do you think of the bird ending?
I love the birds. I think that's a very, very classy way to go out. I think it's
the birds, tuppence a bag.
It brings to mind what the whole condor thing from earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
again, bring it all back.
I think it's a brilliant image to end out on.
Yeah, the bird evolves to the dinosaur, and so on and so on.
What do you mean the dinosaur evolved to the bird?
Well, and vice versa.
Vice versa.
Oh yeah, what a beauty! Again, they were
Directed by
brought.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
They were
God.
brought to the island on a helicopter. They leave the island on a helicopter. It comes full circle, folks. Can't get any
Oh,
better than
God.
that.
Michael Crichton and David. Yep.
Yes. Now we're
What a
reading
great
credits.
movie. I mean, I just watching this movie again. It's like, obviously, folks, I've seen this movie.
Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars savior. Sorry, go on.
I mean, I cannot count how many times I have seen this movie in my lifetime. It's got to be upwards of 50. It's got to be like over 50 times.
Basically, it's your version.
That's over 51.
I got Toy Story. Tiki's got Jurassic Park. Guys, what are your two kind of definitive movies?
Mine's E.T.
That's
Alright.
fair enough. That's good.
Jacob?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't really.
I don't mean just Spielberg. I mean, period.
As far as movies I've seen it that many times, probably say Lion King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, guys, this movie is so special to me. If it weren't for this movie, I probably wouldn't be doing the online Imagineering stuff that I'm doing right now, because this movie meant everything to me as a kid. Just kind of like, it absolutely just inspired me on a creative level. It inspired me to want to look into theme park design. It inspired me to want to look into movie making. It inspired me to learn more about dinosaurs. I gotta say, guys, like, I acknowledge that Jaws is probably overall has a little bit of a tighter screenplay. This is still my favorite Spielberg movie. This will always be my favorite Spielberg movie. And it will always
Sandy.
What is that noise?
Yes. Oh, it's just my. No, there was a moth.
Crushing his moment, man.
Sorry.
This will always be in the conversation for me whenever anyone asks what your favorite movie is. I will always cite this over almost anything else. There are very few movies out there that I will cite more than this one in terms of just all-time favorites. It means everything to me. It really does. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. So,
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, there's something to highlight before we kind of go out here. Something important. We didn't really talk about it too much during the commentary. I just want to bring it up now again. Again, Spielberg's headspace. It's amazing that in 1 year he turned out two. Early, what? I don't know if it was 1 year, then the following year. Point is shooting simultaneously.
No, it was Schindler's List and this were released in the same year.
Okay. So the point is,
I'm not sure production-wise how much they come.
well, no, he was working on them at the same time. So regardless,
Okay,
they both came out in the same year. They both kind of worked in the same. My point is,
He said he wouldn't have been able to do just Schindler's List if he also didn't have Jurassic Park on the side.
yeah. So again, women too.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I remember, it's kind of, again, we're kind of coming into the Spielberg month. Again, showing how amazing a filmmaker Spielberg is. I mean, shooting the, he would come home just emotionally defeated and kind of devoid of hope shooting Schindler's List, and he needed somebody to kind of perk him up. Again, the thing that was really reaching back in his nostalgia, like, the good times, dinosaurs, is, again, his first words as a kid were Triceratops. You know what I'm saying? It's going back to the roots of, like, all the happiness and joy of, like, any kid. Again, reaching the inner kid of Spielberg, what meanwhile is taking a really adult, kind of Oscar-winning story. Again, a Holocaust movie meets, giving okays on dino effects.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Impossible, which led to two really great films. Two, again, in two spectrums, like, Impossible, most technologically kind of innovative film at the time, versus kind of like one of the most kind of groundbreaking, like emotionally kind of draining, but it's a very critically acclaimed film. Schindler's List.
Absolutely.
Two very different things, but again, kind of one of your big Oscar of all time contenders, and you're
one of your big Oscar contenders of all time, one of your big blockbusters of all time.
yes, one of the definitive top 10 blockbusters. Jurassic, Jaws, and Spielberg. Yeah, another reason kind of the films we picked here, a large majority of them came out in June, all summer releases, and
Right.
at least 2 to 3 of them were big old blockbusters.
I would even go a step further from Star Wars. I would even say this might be the King Kong of the new generation.
Well, he was going for kind of a King Kong vibe.
Yeah.
To this movie. Kind of like, not a monster movie,
What
kind of
King
like a
Kong
romance
did for
and an
stop-
adventure.
What King Kong did for stop motion, this did for CGI.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of the early to mid '90s. That was kind of the big innovation period. We had Toy Story, we had Jurassic Park, we had all these amazing films coming out.
Don't forget about Terminator.
Yes, and Terminator. I'm saying we get all of these just kind of mind-blowingly. These films defined cinema. They did.
Absolutely.
They basically this period ushered cinema into the new generation we're in now. This is kind of the great kind of ushering period of like, now you're gonna experiment. We're gonna use CGI. It's like a thing no one's really used before. We're gonna kind of take chances. We're gonna be bold with them. We're gonna have all these amazing things on screen. Then we're gonna be able to kind of build on that and kind of like challenge ourselves from this point forward. It fuels a creative fire like the infinite amount of kerosene. It's like you can make so much art out of just this kindling of an idea that you've seen. Spielberg is that if you're gonna have any guy kind of usher that in, you want a talented director like Steven Spielberg to do it. Just saying, hey, look, guys, I did this. I was just like your average Joe filmmaker. I've shot films that maybe want to kind of blow my brains out. I've shot films that they're just like literally they've kind of taken me to the breaking point of my own sanity. He had to take a year off after pulling a year or so off before doing Jurassic Park 2, which he wanted to do is kind of another kind of creative endeavor because he just is so drained by doing this and shooting this simultaneously at the same time.
Right.
This man can do anything. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Sandy and Jacob, do you have any last things to say about Steven Spielberg now that Spielberg Month has kind of officially come to a close?
Are we going to share our final thoughts?
Well, no, just Spielberg thoughts, then we'll give the final thoughts.
Oh, okay.
On Jurassic Park. Or should we just do Jurassic Park then go to the final Spielberg thoughts?
I mean, can we just lump them together? Because I don't
All
want
right,
this
fine.
to be long.
All right.
Jacob, you can go first.
All right. Hey. Okay. So which one's first? Just Jurassic Park or lump them
Just
together?
both of them. They're both lump them together. Just lump them together.
All right. Well, I guess I think I said all I can about this movie during the opening before we even started. So there's not much more I can say about Jurassic Park as a whole, other than how it's defined a lot of filmmaking, even after its release, especially many years after its release.
Absolutely.
As for Spielberg, I mean, what can you say about him? One of the greatest directors of all time. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's interested in movies who hasn't heard of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I mean, his influence is everywhere. Having worked with almost all the major studios and directed many kinds of styles and different kinds of movies.
I mean, DreamWorks, come on.
Of course.
And DreamWorks.
Animation, big sample in animation.
Exactly. Pretty much, like I said, pretty much every kind of genre, format. You can name it. Has his name on it.
No Roger Rabbit without Spielberg. He's produced films, he's produced all the iconic films. If he hasn't directed all the iconic films, he's
absolutely a producer.
Without Spielberg, we don't have Back to the Future. We don't have the others have many other films. Again, he's a
guy.
Yeah.
Don Bluth's major work.
He's not just he's one of the greatest. Maybe we should change it from directors, but filmmakers of all time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, he definitely has an eye for talent. Let's just say he's very good at his job, and cinema would not be the same if Steven Spielberg wasn't around.
True.
Okay, Sandy.
Well, of course. So thoughts on Spielberg first, then.
Well, just lump them together if you can.
Okay. Well, personally, I think this Jurassic Park holds up extremely well. It's timeless. It's a perfect example of a blend of tense and heartfelt emotion. And it's also how CGI should be used. And I didn't talk about this before during the commentary, but that's a huge reason why I love this. It mixes practical and CGI so well. That's the way it should be used. These days people just use CGI to like the max, and they just go overboard with it. It's not it's not my favorite movie, but it's definitely up there with my favorites. As far as Spielberg goes, he absolutely changed the world of cinema, like Jacob said, and like Jacob said, he's a huge reason why I got into filmmaking. I don't know what I would do without Steven Spielberg. I don't know what Hollywood would do without Steven Spielberg either. I mean, he really stepped up the game from what it used to be and what it is now. He really changed the game.
Absolutely. Okay then. So, Sandy, Jacob, Dragon, thank you all for joining me on this journey through Spielberg Month. It's been a lot of fun. We've gone through some highs and lows. We've experienced Jaws, E.T. we've experienced the underrated quality of Catch Me If You Can, the polarizing quality of The Terminal, although granted, all Stanley Tucci's awesome in The Terminal, and we round it all out with Jurassic Park. So thank you all for joining us. We will certainly be back next June for more Spielberg Month. We have a lot more things to get to. I think Close Encounter should be a priority pick. Maybe I'd like to do Tintin next year if we can.
Oh yeah, let's not nail down any specifics. Again, there's always like Schindler's List in the air.
Okay, well if I have one specific, I think we absolutely need to do Close Encounters next year.
Are we gonna do BFG sometime soon?
Well,
we'll talk about BFG when that comes out, but
all right.
Let's not nail down anything in front of witnesses here.
It's not too far away.
No, it's not. It's like a week away. So
yeah.
Okay. But that wraps us up, folks, and now it's time to ride our flying bikes out of here, at least until we give you more Spielberg commentaries to sink your teeth into next year. Catch you next time. All right. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to do the John Hammond Flea Circus monologue that I have pulled up here for the end.
All right. Go on.
You know, the first attraction I ever built when I came down south from Scotland, it was a flea circus, Petticoat Lane. Really quite wonderful. We had a wee trapeze and a merry-go-round, carousel and a seesaw. They all moved, motorized, of course. But people would say they could see the fleas. Oh, I see the fleas, Mummy. Can you see the fleas? Clown fleas and high-wire fleas and fleas on parade. But with this place, I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch. An aim not devoid of merit.